censored, then these platforms are going to lose their users.
Oh yeah, for
Um,
sure. I think we're live, but I'm not sure if we are live. Oh no, we're
Oh, I'm
live.
just yeah, I'm just showing it now coming
Nah,
online.
upload it later.
All right, there's some weird I think the algorithm blocked us, but I found a way
Oh
around
wow.
it. I don't ask me how. I think we're banned, but I think we're banned, but I don't know how I got this to work. I just use an unconventional way to stream the stream there. Okay, so it's working. Okay.
I was just joking about how I was starting being a jackass. I mean, he's like it was like a pinnacle for radio or whatever. He
Oh,
even carried
Howard
it as far
Stern.
as he
Oh,
could.
welcome to
Yeah.
our YouTube listeners for being 40 minutes late. I'm not sure if we're censored or not, but I got it. I got YouTube working in an unconventional way to stream it, so it's working now.
Yeah, I think we are banned, but we
Get around it
managed
somehow.
to get it up at stream at least for today, and then we'll
Yeah, because even on
figure
the
out how
back
we're
end,
gonna go
even on
about
the
this in the
back end, when I
future.
was using my custom RTMP server, like it was saying, YouTube back end was saying video unavailable. I just pressed go live anyway, and it went live, and I was just like, okay, well, it didn't work any other way. That was the most bizarre shit. All right. Anyway, did I lose our audience?
Yeah, got a notification. Hello.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
finally got the notification up, so
Okay. Yay, we're back on YouTube
woohoo!
For now.
for now, for
So
tonight.
yeah, I mean, yeah, unfortunately, and then they lost kind of the opening of the channel, so that kind of sucks too. We'll probably go over some the information about Julian again at the very end,
Yeah.
just to keep everybody up to date. So yeah, go through. We did need to talk a little bit about Facebook. We were talking about it behind the scenes a little bit beforehand, about their shareholders, kind of standing up a little bit against Zuckerberg, some internal conflicts, on the inside of the company, as well as some new bills that have been passed, with some more consumer rights, against them selling your personal information and all of that. So I know Tyler had some good intel about that.
Oh, for who? For what? For
For Zuckerberg, and what was it, Iowa, that made some changes in their laws, where you log on with your Apple
oh no,
ID.
oh yeah. So at the Apple developer convention, they wanted to pull Facebook completely off of the App Store, and this is not the first time that this has happened. The first time was about 2 months ago in March, or May, April, March, somewhere around there, where they pulled their developer's license on the back end for Facebook for violating privacy laws, and it was pulled for 2 or 3 days before they got it back, and that was like a warning. And I heard that they wanted to pull Facebook completely off of iOS and any other Apple platform. So what they're doing now is they're going about it at a roundabout way where Apple and other social media platforms such as Snapchat, Instagram, all that, in Twitter will they're going to try and limit what data they can and cannot have. Now, I understand having the app on your device is already trouble enough to already get information, but they're going to try and limit it even more, where you're going to have one logon on iOS 13 where you will be only using your Apple ID to log into all of these platforms. Now, how that makes you more secure, I'm not really sure, because I haven't seen the fine detail of how this is actually working. But what they're saying is that This will also limit any passwords or emails that shouldn't be sent around, and that they will be limiting what social media platforms, what kind of data they will be taking from you, and it will be more restrictive to the social media platforms, what kind of information they're gathering from you. But like I'm saying, the days of free reign of intel gathering and data capturing of people is it might be coming towards an end. Where the end consumer is basically the product. And that's something that Apple says that they're not doing. They want the iPhone or the Mac to be the product and not you. But I know back end that Apple still does the same shady shit that other people are doing.
Yeah, I just think that, when it comes to Facebook, it's like a once a week hack leak. I mean, it's became such a problem. No other social media network has this many problems. It's a once a week thing with them. Once a week, they've got
It's
another
because it's a
million
sinking
person.
ship.
What? Go ahead.
It definitely droves.
Are we having some sort of timing delay?
Yeah. It's the Discord. I've been having a little trouble with it myself. Oh, it'll cut out completely and I won't hear nobody. And it'll show some sort of a rerouting deal it's doing. I'm not so sure about it. It's like
Yeah.
it's trying to reroute to connect the voice. And I'm running on 7 megs.
7
Sure what's
megabit.
going
That's
on
it.
with that.
Shouldn't be having like a lot of problems with it, but no, like normal, when we're on the back end, when we're all just chatting, it works seamlessly. And then once our most loyal viewers get on and start recording, it seems like we start having problems.
Yeah. AK, what was that you posted in the chat?
That's a new charge that was just filed against Julian within the last hour that was just posted by WikiLeaks. I don't know if the charge was filed against Julian within the last hour, but it was just posted by WikiLeaks within the last hour. And they want to use, I think they want to use Siggy Thorson to basically go after WikiLeaks. I haven't looked into this more to see who they're talking about, but I think it's Siggy.
Okay.
So WikiLeaks.
Yeah, it is. It's Siggy. It is Siggy. I just wanted to double check that. I couldn't really look at the document and read the whole thing yet, but yeah, it is Siggy.
Oh yeah, it was a little short guy who helped get him arrested, get him trapped, wasn't it?
The fucking
Somebody,
pedophile.
I forget who it was.
Wow. I mean, I do kind of wonder, like, when exactly are they going to release the rest of these files before it's too late?
Oh, what? Wait, what files?
The Dead Man Switch. Like, I know they've been releasing things here or there, and they ask that other people that have information that isn't secret or top secret or anything like that to post it. But I think it might be about time to to fight back.
Yeah.
They mentioned Sabu, so I'm pretty sure Sabu will be in court as well. There'll be a warrant for him.
Oh,
Yep.
you're getting some echo here. Some bad reverb.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is
So, yeah,
Sabu? What is Sabu in court for? What is he? What is he? Is he working with another federal agent?
Well, no,
Ouch.
his name is on the indictments.
What?
His name's here on the indictments. Thorson told us that the interrogations focused on his own communications with the fellow
Yep.
FBI informant Hector Mansour.
No shit.
Yeah, they're doing what we said they were gonna do. They're gonna use fucking Sabu again. I fucking
He's like their go-to when they don't
Does
have
he
any real
know-
information.
Does Sabu know that he has a rat on his computer?
He has to. He
No.
has to.
They put it on his computer months ago.
wait. It's still on there.
Yeah,
They're still able to take
how do you
pictures
think?
of it?
How do you think they were using his webcam?
Well, yeah. I knew that it was on there months ago. I didn't know that it's still on there and they're taking pictures and fucking uploading it. That's pretty funny. Fucking deserves it though. Fucking all these different people over. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a fat sack of shit. That's what he is.
Although everybody said that the LowSec returns account, whatever the fuck it was a scam. But when they were asking for Bitcoin to put Sabu's pictures up or to take them down,
Photoshop is a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I hate looking at his face.
Oh,
Ugh.
Sabu?
Yeah.
Does anything remind you tonight, Professor?
It's just like you never see his picture and then anything positive pop up behind it.
Because he's a
Just a
fucking rat. You know?
Like
No.
in the worst
there's
way.
no,
Come on.
no better way for a rat, to get than get ratted.
Yeah. And he was stupid. They were. I think they got him on in a chat room on Diablo 2, and he fucking clicked on a link.
Wait, what? That's
Yeah.
how they got him?
Yeah.
They got him for a video game? Are you
Yeah.
serious? That's funny.
It's not hard. We used to do that all the time through Diablo. It was back in dial-up era. We would actually build a little character in the game. Like when you kill it, it'll come in later and take your stuff from you. It'll clean out your inventory. People
Nice.
still do that. All these little phone games, they'll build a character and you'll fight it, and all of a sudden it'll clean out your inventory.
Listen to
hilarious.
listen to his write up on USA Today. How master hacker Sabu turned FBI cyber sleuth.
Bro, that kid-
The
Master-
most words I've ever heard somebody use to
Oh,
be called a fucking rat.
Jesus. Like, wait. Most of the fucking hacks they weren't even done by him. They were done by
Everyone else.
Yeah, Hector's
yeah.
Hector's fucking skill set is
This isn't
subpar,
cutting
dude.
news.
Master hacker. Oh,
Oh
my
no, this one says
Masturbator.
anonymous. This one says anonymous super hacker turned FBI informant. Well, did you write this shit yourself, man?
This is a PR. Like, is this just like a whole like press release?
Yeah,
Just for
One of them was from the Guardian. One of them was from USA Today. Oh, this is terrible, man. You should be ashamed.
Yeah,
Riding the wheel off everyone
you know
else.
how he caved in for the FBI, right?
Anonymous's most notorious hacker is back, and he's gone legit.
Bro, that guy sold out. The FBI basically went to his house and said because he was pulling some fucking big shit. You remember when they had that call-in line where you had to call in and they would DDoS whatever fucking website you wanted. Well, they were
Yeah.
getting too ballsy, and the FBI just went to his house because he's retarded and he wasn't using any precautions to hide himself. And they went to him and they said they were going to take his kids away if he didn't cooperate. And he sold out everybody.
It's either that or lose your kids, I guess.
Well, they really can't take his kids away though. But he
fucking do whatever the hell they want. Like,
Well, that's true.
but I mean, he's cooperating, so why would they, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like something that he says to make up for it after the fact that you get caught cooperating. Oh, they threatened my kids. Yeah, sure they did. You don't have the recording of them threatening your kids? No. Well, I thought you were an anonymous super hacker. You can keep your phone recording when the fucking FBI's threatening
Bro,
you.
that
Are you
guy
serious?
couldn't hack Wi-Fi,
I
bro.
know they were coming.
No, he's got like the standard "I'm an FBI informant" picture up too of him like smoking a cigarette, right, just about to take it out
Bro,
of his
all the
mouth on
0
left hand.
days, all the 0 days that guy was sitting on was given to him from the FBI.
Well, he was sitting on them because other people were passing them over there, and it wasn't even him that were him that was getting involved with hacking 0 days and looking into 0 day code and stuff like that, or fucking operating like on the dark net, buying 0 days. Like it was somebody else. So yeah, like when the FBI literally arrested Sabu, were they disappointed that they just suddenly found out, oh, this guy fucking can't hack shit?
No, they looked at it. They looked at it and they're like, "Wow, this guy has no idea what he's doing. Let's hire him."
Yeah, I guess that's a good argument for the U.S. government.
Yeah, chances. I mean, that's
Do
normally
you know
how
how to
they
do
get.
your
That's normally how
job
they.
correctly. No,
That's, no.
Are
It's
you
just
a war
information.
criminal? Yes or no?
And how would you like some paychecks?
We got coffee and donuts.
Oh, that's right. They probably were paying him because I don't think he had a job when he was doing all that shit.
FBI, right? They're not cops. They're Eau Clairs, not donuts. They drink cappuccino, not coffee.
Drink Kevlar.
It's cappuccino.
Yeah,
It's fancy coffee.
The tears of small children.
I'm pretty sure that's Hillary.
Hitler.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
so,
pretty sure she drinks the tears of small children.
It
So-
it sweetens my coffee.
I do have some nerddom
probably eight
news.
small
Apple at the Dev Conference was also, they're killing iTunes. So you don't worry if you got Apple Music on that shit, it's not going to be dead. But what they're doing is Apple will not be it will not be a standalone
Yeah, they're
program.
just integrating it.
So yeah, they're going to be
just-
3 different programs monitoring what iTunes did, and you might not have the option of using the iTunes software to do backups and system restores. I think that they're going to use something else.
Well, I mean, it was a huge like security flaw. I mean, from our end, it's great when you want to unlock phones, when you want to do stuff with the kernels. I mean, all of that was done during that update process and through iTunes. So I mean, it was always a huge security issue.
Yeah, and they're also
remember-
redesigning the iPad app. It will not be iOS 13. They're going to have a separate operating system.
On the note of them discontinuing iTunes, do you remember years ago when Apple put out an update for the iPod Touch and they killed the iPod Touch and they had a whole fucking scandal about them putting out a bad update that
Yeah, it was
literally
bricking them. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember it because I had one at one point in time, and fucking it bricked itself, and I called them up, and they said they wouldn't replace it, and then then I went to the actual Apple store, and then they were like, no, we can't replace it, and I'm like, well, you guys did this, yeah.
It was working fine before I got the update.
Fine before I updated it. Like, what the fuck? Who pushes a fucking update that's gonna brick a device without testing it on other devices?
Apple.
What the fuck,
I
Apple?
needed you to buy a new one.
Yeah, they just wanted you to buy a new one, man. That's it. I mean,
Time
they've
to
already
update.
been. They did get. I mean, they did. I guess all of those big companies did get caught you know, playing around with malicious software, with playing around with ways to make you buy a new device. So when the new updates were coming down, it immediately made your device for no good reason. I mean, all of that stuff. But I will say, just iTunes, you know, I know they are going to have to change things around, just because, I mean, it was a big security issue. You know, all of the hacks that we dealt with really worked around security flaws inside of iTunes and the update system that they used inside of iTunes.
Still a bunch of music easy right now.
You know, how is that going to work with, you know, with the music that you had inside of your iTunes that wasn't through?
I'm pretty sure they'll migrate that. It won't be that hard to migrate it to another platform and rebrand it. It'll still be a lot of the same stuff on the back end, but kind of forgot what I was going to get at. But the biggest change would be the iPad OS, where back end they're going to have a conventional file system, so it'll be more iPad will work more like a laptop than it will a tablet.
Hopefully that'll mean we can move some files back and forth a little bit easier than we were able to do before. Apple had made that a little bit difficult.
Well, yeah, they hide the file structure from all you guys and encrypt it.
Wow.
Oh. What
Yeah.
else? What else happened? Yeah, we did Zuckerberg.
Oh, my
68,
God.
Yeah, 68% of people 68% of shareholders tried to vote Zuckerberg out. We did that.
Yeah, I mean the shareholders have been you know, putting up a real divide between the CEOs and kind of, you know, top parts of these corporations.
Well, we could get him to sell his shares, but you got to get him really fucked up to do that. Did I lose
Yeah,
everybody?
the shareholders are trying to get Mark Zuckerberg to actually quit.
Well,
They've
yeah,
been saying
you know what you do
they're
is
saying it. They've been saying it for him to quit and put in a new CEO, because they're
No.
saying you fucked things up there, Mark. You fucked things up.
No, what you do is
You
you
know,
bring
it
him
might
to
have something to do with. Did you see that Facebook is now expanding past the social media part, and they now want to explore using AI robots to tell users who they should and shouldn't be friends with. Mark, you've lost your fucking
Stop.
mind. You lost your fucking mind.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
Hey,
wants a
Nobody wants
fucking
to be your
AI
friend,
robot
Mark.
to scan their face.
Just like college, nobody wanted to be your girlfriend either then, Mark.
He's going to do it and continue to do it because he's getting paid to do it, and because people are going to sit there and let him do it and go right along with it.
I mean, these are
Everybody's
like
left
real
Facebook 4
proposals.
times already.
These are real fucking patented proposals for Facebook. Like, what are you doing? Like, why is there? Nobody wants a fucking artificial intelligence robot that has 5 senses. Yes, I did say 5 senses. That's literally what they want. Like, we don't need a robot that can, you know, analyze human beings. Number one. Number two, we don't need a robot that can smell, touch, and feel.
I would need to watch that robot, bro.
This is like, it's beyond. It's getting beyond like a movie now. Like, I don't know what fucking movie I want to compare this to, but god damn it, like
They wanted it to predict when you were
I,
going to do a
Robot?
crime
Like,
too.
yeah, no, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too. Yeah, they want these.
Yeah, I ain't bullshitting.
They want these predictive AI cameras with facial recognition implemented, and not only on top of facial recognition, but they want emotional recognition implemented into it as well, where they can try to predict when somebody's going to do a crime. Wait, what universe are we walking into? What the fuck is this?
They put those in store cameras now. They want to know how
Yes,
you feel when you're
for
going to buy something.
anti-theft. It's not. It's more so for anti-theft. They want to be able to mitigate theft, and like they're doing all these creepy fucking things. Like Walmart has a patent for a cart on the handle of the cart, where when you press down on the cart with your hand, it can predict your emotions and it can predict if you're stressed or whatever the fuck is going on. Like,
Heart rate.
yeah, right. Yeah, it's absolutely fucking insanity what they're doing.
And that's what they're going to tell you. It's just to monitor your heart rate. But yeah, it's monitoring your heart rate. But when you're lying or when you're ready to still, what are your heart rate going to do?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's creepy as fuck, and it's not only just monitoring your heart rate. Amazon wants to be able to tell your emotions through your voice and your tone of your voice, and they want to implement this into a new like Amazon Watch that they're building. And then, like I said, you have Facebook with their emotional fucking robot that's going to be like. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be, but they proposed it. That's the thing. And the fact that this was a proposal and it actually went into patents is scary as fuck. Absolutely nuts. Did you already talk about the whole thing with the visa situation in the U.S.? What recently Trump? Well, not
Oh,
really
I forgot
Trump,
about
but
that. You can talk about that.
Trump administration. Okay, so now the U.S. is going to suffer a huge loss from tourism because tourists are now going to be required to submit their social media history, their phone numbers, and their addresses for the past 5 years to enter the U.S. I'm not kidding. Like, this is absolute fucking insanity.
Digital identity.
Yeah, in a
Identity for
sense, it
all.
is. Yeah, no, yeah. In a sense, it's the start of digital identity. Um, and what people don't really think about is how long does the DHS have to keep that information? How long are they going to retain it?
Yeah, it's also assuming that you have a social media. It does have the option for none, but they're assuming that you have a social media account to begin with, and it's a kind of invasive. I mean, I understand. Yes, whatever country you
Kind
want
of
to go to.
invasive. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's super
Let's
invasive.
get there. Let's get there.
You,
Let's get to the work.
yeah, you might as well just strip naked, while you're doing the visa process. Turn
There you
around and
go. That's what
cough.
I was looking for.
You know.
I'm down.
They might as well just say, everybody, we require your full frontal nudes to be able to come to the U.S.
Submit DNA and all.
Don't give them any fucking ideas, Jesus Christ. Honestly, with the push that they're pushing for the DNA database, which not a lot of people fucking even know is going on. Like,
Oh, I know. I had to get involved in that when I was involved with the criminal justice
they're now
system.
starting to build a DNA database of
They've had one.
of people
Anytime you
in
get
the
a
world.
felony or go to child
Right.
support.
Oh, AK, there's some
Right,
echo coming through your
right.
device. I don't know if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
It might be for me because I'm using a laptop. But I've been muting myself when I'm speaking when I'm not speaking. But yeah, it's absolute insanity what they're trying to do with this DNA database. Not only in the U.S. but in the U.K. they're pushing for it too. So people need to wake up and realize what they're fucking doing here, creating a tyrannical database where they'll have literal fucking information of everybody just based off of DNA. And if your relative, what they've been doing in the U.S. and I think even abroad, to be honest, was a lot of these ancestry websites where you have to send in your data, your DNA data, your actual DNA. They've been the FBI has been like intercepting these ancestry reports. So if your relative gave their data to these companies, they literally just targeted you.
Yep. For a crime.
Yeah, it can turn into that.
That's how they caught. That's how they caught one of the new serial killers in
Yeah, I was going to
California.
say that
Yeah.
there was a recent case too where they did that, where how they actually caught a criminal was literally using their relative's DNA, which is fucking creepy. That they're able to do that and it's legal. I mean, like,
Or the police.
regardless of the crime. I mean, unless the person's a fucking murderer, I don't think that's it's a good way for us to catch criminals. No, I think that's a dangerous precedent.
They wanted facial recognition technology so they could narrow down their job. They can sit at home and watch everybody through a camera and get you later, pick you up while you're home. Right, that's what they do now.
Well, they have the technology. They've been running trials on it in the UK for like the past couple years, but the trials so far have been failures. And there was a study on it. They literally had 97% of failures. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, didn't
in the
one
UK,
of them recognize a judge as a pedophile?
Well, it was
I
probably
don't
true.
remember
Probably
that. But
true.
yeah, that's probably true. Yeah.
It was just the AI making an educated guess. I mean,
That's like
He's
the
fixing to
AI.
rape a kid.
That's like the AI of Amazon's recognition software finding the 28 members of Congress, criminals, and falsely matching them against criminals in the actual system. But I mean,
28. I was saying that number seems a little low to me, doesn't it?
Well, the only problem there is that all the members of Congress who were black were the targets of the AI software.
Oh, that's probably by design. Let's be honest. Have they ever? Come on, what has the government ever created that isn't targeting against blacks?
Robot's racist.
Yeah, shit. Like when they first came out with the facial recognition thing, it wasn't recognizing black people at all. Like you couldn't get into an elevator, it wouldn't fucking turn on. Like what the fuck?
That's messed up.
He's not wrong though. That's the thing. Like, it might be a joke that he made, but yeah, no, he's not wrong. It's really a fucking problem. And
yeah, you notice how they didn't put that into the.
AI.
Yeah, you notice they didn't put that into the fucking laws of robotics, did they? How come you couldn't throw like no racism in there? We just figured we'd keep it.
That's in the backlog.
Yeah. Like remember, like the laws of robotics, right? So you make sure that fucking they can't accidentally murder anybody. Can you make sure they're not racist? You think that would be something they'd put in right away?
Yeah, if it says they can't murder a human, but they can't see if you're actually a human,
Yeah.
they're like too
Well, no,
racist to recognize you as a human.
They were a little bit too specific on what they decided was human. For my liking, something they've tried before.
Well, they had Sophia, the Sophia creepy robot, literally questioned, and it said that it would destroy the human race, and I'm not making that up.
All right,
Literally, that's what the robot said.
I'm just gonna unplug you now.
It did actually say that. It said like just kidding after that, but it was saying
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
And
what
then-
a bad
and then-
time to be. See, that
And
would've
then
been-
we gave that robot citizenship in Saudi Arabia. Of all
of this
countries,
sounds-
Saudi
All
Arabia.
of this sounds pretty legit. And if
Well,
it
it's
was
legit.
a joke, like if you turn it on and it's all like, "Hey, kill all humans," I was just kidding. I would be like, you know what? I like this machine. All that AI and all we got was fucking Bender out of it.
Well, you see, they're probably learning through synergy from the abuse that robot at Boston Dynamics went through. You remember that robot that Boston Dynamics was bullying and pushing over? Yeah, when they destroy the human race, we got that to blame.
That was what. Remember when you pushed it over and it just let it go and let it go? He was storing that shit. Just figured, I'll get you later.
Well, I
That
mean,
one that was,
no,
traveling the
push it
country.
over. They fucking abused that robot. They tripped it, fucking pushed it over. If
You're
there's
talking about the one that looked like a trash can that was traveling the country.
no, it was a fucking walkable robot that they were just tripping and pushing over and like
Yeah, see-
just teasing the fuck out of it and bullying it. Like,
Yeah, see, we expected
If
to
there's
come
a-
down and it was like destroy all humans, but that was a misnomer. It was really just destroy Jake, that motherfucker that tripped me in the hallway. All humans are fine, but that asshole Jake is gonna fucking get it.
Go hit him with an asteroid.
Or just that whole Terminator thing, but rather than like killing everybody, it just walks in and pushes Jake down in the fucking coffee room. What's up now?
I'll be back and do it again.
I told you I'd be back.
Meet me at the parking lot.
right after
Bunch of-
work.
Yeah, you bunch. I'll see you at 5:00.
It's by the trees.
You guys been following up on Sudan?
Well, the recent
As
attack.
much as possible, yeah.
Yeah, and it's been
But the
extremely hard
information's
to
being
get.
cut off.
Well, so
Yeah.
so they were protesting a few days ago in Sudan, and the military, which has taken over the country from the leaders, which everybody, well, the locals thought that it was because they were trying to restore power to the government, but it's looking more like the military wants to rule and are now killing protesters in the street and burning the bodies in the street as well.
Yeah, and we had a couple of people that were willing to come and speak, but it's just gotten, they're willing to give us information and tell us what's going on the ground, but it's just too dangerous for them to come on the show right now, is really what we're getting. They're specifically like targeting people that have the ability to get information out. The normal journalists are top on the list, but no, we do have some people that are on the ground that are willing to talk, but right now it's just too hot.
So, Terrence, is it true that the ISPs also cut off servers and stuff now?
Yeah, these guys are all talking to us on their phones. They said that landlines, there's nothing going out of the country at the moment.
Yeah, we need that old telecomics connection guide to connect to the internet when your ISPs are being blocked and everything that we use during Tunisia and Turkey
Yeah.
because they're literally shutting down communications in Sudan.
Well, what's been going on is they've been like, so people have been buying burner phones in Chad or Ethiopia and then using their Chad, Ethiopia, or Saudi Arabia, and they've been using their cell phones when their cell phone services in the other countries while they were in Sudan. But other than, like I said, landline, local, internet is all being censored, is all down at the moment, been cut off. So yeah, all the information that we're getting is from cell phones, and that's how they're using their internet. But the cell phones aren't from those countries.
They can still dial into a, to a dial-up service.
We could set that up.
That is how Telecomics did it too. Or Telecomics provided that.
Right. Yeah. That's how they did it for years. But now that they've seemed to gone dark in a sense, and only the Canada account is around anymore.
Well, I know there's some guys that do have some skill in some of the other cities that are on, like I said, the border. So we've been getting stuff from Java and Wayu, but I don't know where else. Like I said, where else people are able to get information out of, and that's just because they sit on the border.
Right. Because they sit on the border and they're able to utilize the towers that are on the other side of the border. Yeah.
Exactly. And both, it's just because, outside of there being this, the countries around them don't all have, there is issues, but completely different issues. So that has helped us out in that there is stability to the south and to the west a little bit. But no, like normal, it's super hard to get information in and out when you're not on the ground and people are scared. We do have a lot of reports of phosphorus being used and some other illegal weapons being used, where those weapons are coming from, especially the phosphorus
Turkey,
bombs.
U.S.,
Wow.
UK.
So like a lot of the video, we haven't got the people on the ground to test it, but the videos that we've been seeing have been phosphorus bombs, which are illegal. And they've been illegal for a long time.
And who makes profits off of those?
Oh, I would bet money that the phosphorus weapons are coming from us because we're the only people that make that shit. We'd have to look at it. It's hard to tell, but there's only 3 countries in the world that make weapons of mass destruction. So if people are using weapons of mass destruction, they got them from us.
U.S., like I said, U.S. and Turkey. Turkey also has phosphorus bombs. They were found in Syria years ago. They were literally like addressed to Turkey. Like the bombs literally said Turkey on it in Arabic. So
Well, I will say that I don't know how much news coverage this got, but the Greek shoremen, so the guys that load up the ships, the unions, the dock workers have all refused to load weapons at any of their docks, which is really great to see. I really I hope that more people take that initiative, and they've all said, look, we're not going to be complicit in genocide. Right? We're not gonna load these, to say, oh well, it's not our fault, it's not our problem, they're not our weapons. We're just loading them on the ships to go and murder people. They took a stand. Like, we're not loading ships up with fucking weapons to go kill innocent people. Whether they're your weapons or not your weapons, or from the U.S. or from this country or from that country, we're just not playing. We're just not going to be involved in it. Thank you.
Turkey is one partner. Turkey. The Turkish army is so large; it is like the second largest NATO army, and it's only the U.S. army is bigger. But since the U.S. is already on every place in the world, pretty much Turkey is the strongest force in the region. So there's not much you can do against it. Like, there's not an army anywhere that can take them on or something that can stop them.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I mean, with all of these, it has to do with money, right? Like, and with
True.
these, we sell so many weapons to them, and then stand back and act like there's nothing that we can do. They're the best equipped, the best equipped army, not because they're in there like, pumping out weapons, but because we're selling them weapons.
Yeah, the Germans do this too. I mean, they're using like Leopard tanks. I mean, like the latest models, like the most advanced battle tanks in the world. I mean,
Yeah, and then to say, oh well, we're not part of it. We're not doing it's Turkey. Yeah, but you sold them. You don't have to sell them that shit.
yeah. Yeah. I was looking at the topography, and for Sudan, it doesn't actually look so good. I mean, it is surrounded by countries like Libya. Let's see, Libya, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Egypt, Chad. Yeah, this is like it's all bad in all these countries.
I mean, Kenya's there. I mean, Kenya is,
Kenya's
is
more
relatively.
Nice
liberal.
close.
Yeah, some parts of
Yeah,
Ethiopia. Ethiopia is more modern than people would want to know, but it still has its downfalls.
Okay, well, someone needs to host a server in Ethiopia then and provide dial-up access, I guess, for
Yeah.
Kenya. It would be like much too expensive. I mean, we can set up a service here, but you pass so many different countries. It's so expensive to even dial into here.
yeah, and you'd really have to know what you're doing. Like I said, Ethiopia, Kenya, there are, people that know what they're doing in the area. There are people getting information out. So, I mean, we do have Anons on the ground, but it's such a dangerous situation. They're all worried about being targeted for, death, for hit squads.
Yeah.
And a lot of the countries around them, although they may kind of talk about support, they're not. The refugees is a huge problem. There's all of the countries refuse to take people that are fleeing any of these wars
Yeah,
in any direction.
Sudan's been a bad area for a long time. They tried to kill the Jews in Sudan before, and now they had a dictator, and the military kicked out the dictator, and now the military has established control and has become basically a banana. It's basically what do you call it? A pop up. What's it called? Terrence, you know the name I'm trying to think of. It's
Well, I
a
mean, right now it's a military dictatorship.
basically, yeah.
Yeah, they originally, when and this we're not talking about any like huge amount of time. This is 2 months ago, when they toppled the tyrannical government to begin with. There was the demand that a civilian would be put in charge of the government and not the military, and the military, went along with that all the way up until they were in power, and then said, "Nah, fuck y'all," like
You know
they
what I've heard
always
is
do.
that the youth have in Sudan have been hit up by the Saudis to go make money fighting as mercenaries in Yemen.
Yeah. No, I mean these all, some of it is that a lot of Americans don't have a good grasp on geography.
I do.
So I mean, yeah. So yeah. I mean, the people. There's definitely a difference between the people that educate themselves and want to know what's going on compared to the masses that don't care. They say the word Israel but can't point to it on a map. Right. So I mean it's 100% true. When you hear people wailing about it, just with with no names of the countries on it, point to Israel.
Yeah, they say
Right.
fuck Israel and they point to India. You're like, nope,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
like
Point.
way in the wrong direction, bro.
Yeah. Point that. Yeah. No. Like you want to. You support the war in Syria. You want to. Point to Syria on the map. If you can't, and I demand that from my leaders, right? Like, stand up in the middle of a conference, in the middle of whatever, and say, look, okay, you want to go to country, to war with this country or that country? Point to it on the map.
No, I think that's fair to ask. I mean, that's really a good one. I mean,
Trump,
but they
Trump
don't.
doesn't
They
know
never
where
do.
any of
They
them are.
can't. Oh, he doesn't. Some of them, for George Bush, they just called it a region, right? We're going to liberate the region. There is so much of a difference between peoples and cultures. And what do you mean the region? You just don't know where any of those places are on the map. Don't lie.
I remember Trump didn't even know there was a difference between Ireland and North Ireland.
There was a what?
He didn't know there was a difference between North Ireland and Ireland. Not until about a year ago.
Oh,
He didn't know the difference.
oh my
that's
God.
really bad. I mean,
Oh my God.
You didn't know there was a
Okay.
difference between North Ireland and what? Ireland?
Yeah, he didn't know there was a
Ireland.
difference until last year.
Well, I mean, I don't even know how to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you
I
why,
think
how,
we need to ask him, where is Iran on a map? Where is Venezuela on a map? If we don't know where these countries are, then we can't invade them.
Oh no, they can. If you can't point to it on the map, there's no reason why you can invade them. I mean, with his, they put there already. It's just farther southern Mexico. It's all Mexico.
The thing I find really funny is Trump coming out and saying that he doesn't want World War III, and that if John Bolton had his way, we would be in 4 different wars, which I agree with. But here's the thing: you fucking appointed the motherfucker. You appointed him. You brought Elliot Abrams out of retirement.
What? How do you? How is Elliot? This is the deal. How is Elliot Abrams allowed to retire? I assumed he was in federal prison, right, or some international prison for being a war criminal. But it turns out he was just. I mean, you're just allowed to retire, set death squads, and like all of the horrible shit that man did, and he was just allowed to retire.
Yeah, it's like they're like, okay, how do we invade Venezuela? Oh, let's get the guy who was involved in the death squads and everything during Iran Contra. Oh, that's a great fucking idea. I don't know who the fuck said that.
Oh, I'm
but,
sure
you know,
he did. I'm sure he went in. Give me that guy that fucked up South America. That's the guy I want. Contras, that sounds cool. Guns for drugs. I like drugs. I like guns. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how you come. Give me all the war criminals. All of them at once. I like war criminals. I like war. I like criminals. Let's do it. It'll be huge. You have those guys on like a Rolodex or something?
Kosovo.
Somebody just posted in the chat that basically Google confirmed that there was an advanced backdoor that was pre-installed on Android devices in 2017 supply chain. What the fuck?
Yeah, that makes about. I mean, some of that is you are getting like some of that is programmers thinking. You know what I mean? Like I have to have a backdoor into this. So
Yeah, why not?
I mean, nobody builds a system that they can't get into. That's just. I mean, that's programming 101.
Sounds
You know,
for the app. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, name one of the big telecom companies that doesn't build backdoors in for the government for some sort of monitoring to sell your information. Depending on what their reasons are.
Maybe
But
Alcatel? Maybe?
Ugh.
well, I
Bleh.
think Huawei didn't do it for the U.S. government, and that's why they're fucked now. So it probably only did it for the Chinese, by the way.
Yeah, they don't mind that you sell information. You just have to sell it to them first.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Yeah, like I can only get so upset. The Chinese are buying your information. Well, you're selling it. Stop selling it. Like even like there, it's a buyer's market. Quit selling my shit, and they won't be buying it.
You don't have to worry about that much longer, right? Clear net, going to filter net.
Well,
Oh,
and it's,
sorry, I
you
left
know,
it.
it
What were you
depends-
guys saying?
Oh, the filter net versus the clear net between, China and all that. I mean, I'd ask what the Chinese are planning to do with my information. Chances are build me a better iPhone.
Yeah, that's pretty much all
Well,
they can do. I mean, you don't even have an extradition agreement with China, so nothing they can do. Like, maybe if you have like an amazing invention, they can steal it. The idea.
Yeah, but what if you have an amazing invention that you just want to give to them, right? Like our
Yeah.
water from air system, right? You don't have to steal it. I'll give it to you. You can give your whole country clean drinking water. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you just please manufacture them for like $1, so we can actually buy them.
Yeah. Or I mean, however much, like I think we can end veterans homelessness for $1 billion. So yeah, just put $1 billion into our GoFundMe. I'll give you the blueprints for the water from air system, and you never have to worry about drought again. That's win-win, right? You want to really fuck over America? Fix veterans homelessness. You know how hard it would be for them to fucking deal with that? Fuck China, but they did fix veterans homelessness, so that's a win, right?
I think they would. They create like entire cities in like weeks. Like entire cities, they're like larger than all large cities in my country. I think. Yeah.
yeah, don't tell
yeah.
Trump that. He's trying to go to war with them, basically, like trade war right now. But China they responded and they said that the I quote, the U.S. is evil.
Yeah, again.
It's like something we didn't know already, but
It cut off at evil, but I'm probably gonna agree with you.
no, it didn't cut off. That's literally what they said was the U.S. is evil. That's it. And
Yeah, that sounds about right. So I mean, you have to fill in the blanks sometimes. So it's like the U.S. is evil. Yes, I mean we're evil too, but the U.S. is definitely evil. Totally agree. The people that are in charge right now, and it doesn't have to be like a spiritual evil, right? I'm not talking about, your religious beliefs, but the bar for evil actions, right? I think that we definitely meet that bar in spades for sure.
once again, just to reiterate, we have Elliot Abrams, we have John Bolton, who's
Yeah, these are
literally
people that are guilty of war crimes, of crimes against humanity.
war crimes and a war hawk. Yeah, like
Moab.
Yeah, these guys are guilty of the most heinous crimes that humanity can offer. So genocide, murder, concentration camps. I mean, the works. These guys are, by any, the fact that we can only describe them with the word evil is not because that's the end all of the word. It's because that's really our extent of being able to rationalize that kind of darkness in the human soul. You almost wish for there being an evil entity involved because it's heartbreaking to think that humanity on its own, right, produced that kind of nightmare.
I think John Bolton is actually the spawn of.
To me, it doesn't particularly the difference between the spiritual evil, the evil that comes from demons and spiritual darkness, and the evil that inhabits man right now. I don't see there being all that much of a difference. The fix is the same.
Yeah, but I mean, I was like partially just joking, but I mean, he's a fucking evil motherfucker. Like,
yeah, as close as you could get. Yeah, I mean, as close as you could get to. I mean, I don't know if it's demonic. I don't know what kind of evil's inside of you. I don't know what kind of evil would produce that kind of person. Right? When you look at the Betsy DeVos and Eric Prince, what kind of family? What is the matter with you people? Right? What kind of evil has infiltrated your DNA, your person, to make you into that? I don't know. The demon of greed seems to be about the most powerful demon we've ever met. The rest of them seem to be, that we can deal with them. The demon of greed is evil because it seems to be connected to every single one of these, whether it's an evil person, an evil corporation, or an evil government. It seems to be connected to all of them. Greed is always at the bottom. The rest of the demons, I think we probably could handle pretty easily. But greed infiltrates us every time, and we follow greed. You know, that the greedier a person is, the better a person they are. The more that they have, the more money they have, the faster the cars they have, the biggest, mansion they have, that somehow that makes them a good person and not the antithesis of greed.
Wait, what the Facebook is predicting if you'll kill yourself.
Oh, Jesus. How? What?
Okay, so they go from fucking
Suicide
robots.
prevention software.
I have a feeling that's not what they're doing.
Kill yourself.
So yeah, what does Facebook do when they predict that you're going to commit suicide? Do they send someone to your house or to kill you, or how does that work?
I mean, this is coming from the
What?
same company that ran a campaign where they spread negative news in certain people's feeds to see how it would affect them.
Well, and then denied it.
Real,
completely.
yeah, and denied that they did it, and then when it actually leaked, they're like, yeah, we did that. Yeah, we apologize. Yeah, that was wrong.
Yeah, which shows the
Same
kind of evil that these people work with, like the kind of like nut jobs they are. So it wouldn't have for the study that they were doing. It wouldn't have mattered if it was negative or positive, right? They could see their goal was to see if they could emotionally change you, affect you, control you by what your posts were. If you saw negative posts, would that make you react negatively? But what they didn't do is see if positive posts would make you react positively. It has the same the end result is exactly the same. Why do you guys always go with the evil way, right? Why do you guys always take the evil path? Nobody would have. There would not be people out in up in arms that you went out of your way to make people happy. But they never do. Uh-oh. That's what got me cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I struggle with it because it's too easy to say that it's a spiritual evil, right? We like to blame it on something else that we somehow can't control, and not that these 100 people are fucking assholes and don't need to be in charge of shit.
No, I
But
mean it's not only it's a very large group of people who don't need to be in charge of anything. I mean,
we're dealing with really 1,000 people. Like the 1% of the 1% is a very small population. For all the control that
I think
they
it's
have.
a lot more than 1,000 people.
Well, we got 1,000 people at the top, and probably 100,000 below them that are willing to do their bidding. But in all actuality, right, it's very few amount of people at the very top. The billionaire club is very small. The trillionaire
billionaire
club is
very small.
even smaller. And when you get into that trillionaire club, that's the people that are pulling the strings.
Well, the Trillionaire Club is literally not even told to the public. Like they say that the richest people in the world are fucking Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, and they'll never go into the black nobility families and all that,
Yeah, and control of money is important too. So I mean, because you're a multi-billionaire, you get control of a $1 trillion government, or the U.S. government, right? You're a billionaire, so you get to pull the strings.
Yeah, but you're also dealing with old money, and that old money isn't like the new money, like the Bill Gates. They don't put their money in stocks where you can trace it. They don't do that kind of stuff. They don't buy the expensive houses to show off or cars. So it's very hard to actually calculate how much money they have, and they divide it over their family members. They divide it over their friends and stuff. Like they have
And
very close friends.
sometimes in entire extended families, people that you don't even think are related, right? They're all their money is. You can look at power in the U.S. and the presidents that seem like they're completely unrelated and on different sides are all part of the same families.
Yeah, and I'm coming from a country with a royal family, right? And this royal family, they checked if this royal family still owned like the majority of stocks in Shell, the oil company Shell, right? And it's like a huge hundreds of billion-dollar company, but they couldn't find any stocks related to them because they are only forced to tell about it when they own more than 5%. But what they simply do is they each own a little less than 5%, and their family pretty much owns the big amounts of stock together. Like, they don't want to show it off. They don't want people to know, but they do go to like the Bilderberg conference as a representative of Shell. So yeah.
Yeah, and you've got things, there's the English royal family has a stick with notches in it, which is the way that kings and queens used to do IOUs back and forth. And this stick is worth millions and hundreds of millions of dollars, but I mean it's not even money that it's not even wealth that you and I would be able to consider. It's worth, hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's really just a stick with notches in it. That's all it is.
Yeah, and the British royal family, well, you know, like these Fabergé eggs, right? They were like owned by the Russian Tsars in the past, and there are like maybe like 60 or 50 in the world today. But I mean, the British Queen owns several of these Fabergé eggs, and they're like hundreds of millions apiece in value too. I mean, they have such wealth, these people, and it's all like in possessions, and then they own like these huge plots of land they officially own. They don't really use it, but they just like listed as stuff they own. They don't even care about it. Yeah.
Oh, or you get what the McCain family, he didn't even know how many houses he owns. A lot. I own a lot of houses. Enough I don't know how many. When he was asked about it during the presidential debates, how many houses do you own? Not a clue.
Well, let's see. I got a house for the summer, house for the winter, house for the fall.
Yeah, some rental properties, investment properties. I got houses everywhere. How many houses have you given away to veterans? Oh, none at all, none at all. But I sit on the committee that discusses veterans homelessness. You don't know how many houses you own.
He also
Right?
sat on the committee that it's literally responsible for war, the Armed Services Committee.
Which I want, like, it is one of those. Have you ever seen the Armed Services Committee come out with anything but war?
No.
Yeah, it used to be called. I think it used to be called just the Department of War, and they changed it because it was such an unpopular name. We're not gonna take war off the table, motherfucker. You guys have never taken war off the table. Don't lie. This table is just like stacked full with letters that say war on them. If you came up with anything else, like, don't tell me that you're not going to take peace off the table. Refuse, right? With the same staunchness and psychotic fucking fervor that you follow fucking war with. Imagine if leaders came out and spoke the same way about peace.
Yeah.
Right? We refuse to take peace off the table. Right? Imagine any leader ever saying that.
They say it
Yeah,
every
good
day.
luck with that.
Yeah, no, we refuse to take war off the table. I know you do. There ain't nothing but war on this table. Can I see the table? This table that everybody's always talking about?
This is the war table, bro.
This is the war table. It's just got like war like cut into the top of it. Because I've never heard them talk about peace the way that they talk about war.
It's got dents in it from fucking bullets. That's why it's called the war.
Yeah, no, we talked to all of the generals and they assured us that war is the best option. No shit. Really? You talked to all of the generals and they said war. Oh well, who would have thought?
It's why they're fucking generals, man.
Yeah. What else? I mean, what else were they going to tell you about? I think you may have been asking the wrong person if you wanted to know about peace. Just saying.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, it's an interesting phrase that they use constantly about this table that they're not taking war off of.
I'm not sure what we even can do about it. I would say like start by like auditing all these trillionaires.
I mean, we're gonna have to make false flags illegal, number one, and with some real teeth.
I'm pretty sure they're illegal, but they don't care.
No, they're not illegal. They're not specifically noted as being illegal. They're given complete.
Well, psyops aren't. that's true to that degree.
Yeah, they've
Under
actually
Obama, the NDAA was signed in 2012, and it repealed the Smith-Mundt Act that was put into effect after the church hearings in the U.S. because of the CIA involved in propaganda, and now we're back to where we started.
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to have to really put some teeth in it. We're going to have to really make these things illegal and punishable by real crimes. You know, the same way that you guys came up with these insane prison sentences for people having pot, right? Why don't we see some of those prison sentences for politicians, right? For people that are involved in false flags.
See, I think if you run a false flag attack, that we should take your genitals and put them in a blender
Jesus Christ.
and see how well fucking put them in a blender and see if you do that again.
I
if somebody
agree.
else does it.
I agree with your passion, but I think, you know, like long prison terms, I think I have no problem with maybe bringing back the stockades.
I have no problem with putting your gonads into a blender and seeing if
Just hitting
it's going to do
button.
the same.
It's interesting because, you know, you look at the difference in reaction. So, I mean, in my lifetime, I have heard probably 10 or 15 different politicians at different times in different states push for corporal punishment for people in prison, right? For lowered prison times, they could flog you or whatever. And this has been real pushes. But if for some reason you say, okay, well, for crimes against humanity, I believe a flogging would be public flogging would be well within people's rights. You wanted to send thousands of U.S. soldiers to die, kill millions of innocent people? You set up a fast flag to do that? Yeah, definitely. Public flogging, I think, would be perfect for that.
I think we just tie them against a tree, and then everybody gets a chance to just kick them in the gonads.
Kick them in the nuts one good time.
Just one time, everybody. Just line up. We'll sell tickets first off, and then after everybody pays their ticket,
maybe like we could run a like a lottery system.
Yeah, well, I mean, something has to be fucking done. Like, I mean,
Well, there is
honestly,
no real punishments for those kinds of crimes. The things that they're doing, there's very little laws against it, let alone punishments for it.
No, I think the punishment of tying them to a tree and having everybody get one shot at kicking them in the gonads because of they wanted to send everybody to war. I think that's a really good punishment.
I'm on board. You push it to legislation, and I will sign it.
I would love to get a bill that just says
kick a politician in the nuts.
Yeah, right. Kick a politician in the nuts or kick a banker in the nuts for their involvement with against crimes against humanity.
Well, I mean, this is a deal. Like, I really, there's been plenty of times, and I can post them in here, of politicians, of prison, management, of all of these people that have pushed corporal punishment for nonviolent drug crimes, for all sorts of, for debtors' crimes, that you'll take 20 lashes for a debtor's crime rather than serve 15 years in prison. Why when you say, okay, well then for actual crimes, for real crimes, right? Then for some reason you're a psychopath, right? You're being violent or threatening or something. But these are the laws that they push on us. That's fine. I'm just saying that I think the punishment's fine. I just think the crime that you're trying to put it in is wrong. So yeah, fine. Public flogging, definitely. I'm in for politicians, 100%. The people that have fucked over Flint, yeah, definitely. Public flogging, I think, was well within justice. But definitely not something that is spoken openly about for some reason.
No, I think the punishment for Flint needs to be way more than public flogging. What they did was literally allow the poisoning of people, and people died from it.
I think allow is the wrong word.
right? When you do something on purpose, there's a difference. You didn't just sit back with your hands back and, oh, this happened and I didn't know anything about it, or it was just, accidental that this happened. This Flint specifically was done on purpose. You knew the consequences, you knew what was going on, you know the reasons for
they
doing
knew
it.
that they knew that the pipes needed to be fixed, and they neglected to do it because of to save money. And well, you wanted to save money. Well, you saved money, and you got a huge fucking scandal where people were dying because of you wanted to cut costs.
Yeah, well, I mean, not just save money, you wanted to make money. And then even after the fact, the people, the money that was used, that was supposed to be used to fix it, they spent on their political campaigns. But there is no real punishments for any of them. They'll step down, run for another office, wait for it to, some of them, haven't even changed, right? They're still in office, still doing their thing.
Oh, there's like nobody talking. Terrence? Did I lose everybody?
I think he got off. I don't know.
You're in the twilight zone, Tyler.
Terrence?
I
think we lost him.
Yeah, no, I got. Yeah, we really lost him. Oh, he'll be back. And what about Preston? Where's he? I saw him.
There was a storm where he lives, and the internet's literally down where he's at. He's saying that he can use Discord, but it's only on his laptop because he's using a iPhone 5, and the app won't install on the phone.
Did you guys discuss about the new WikiLeaks situation already?
Yeah. But you can go over it again.
No, there's like a new indictment coming up against him, and
Literally what we said too. Like literally what we said in a past episode. They're going to use Sabu. They're going to use Sabu. They're going to use Sabu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Are they going to do that part?
Well, they indicted Sigurd Thorson, the pedophile. We'll call him a pedophile snitch. He was a snitch who has been helping the feds along their prosecution of WikiLeaks. And this guy was close to Julian Assange originally, and he got way too much access. And yeah, he's a little literal pedophile. That's not us just saying that. Also, what they're doing is they're using him for a charge connected to Sigurdur Thorson, basically recording a video of him talking to Sabu on a chat room. I think it was IRC, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it was an IRC. And they're going to be using that against Julian. Like,
okay, because it was Sabu when he was working with Jeremy Hammond, Sabu, and he claims, and he wants to put up Jeremy Hammond as a witness against Assange, that Assange asked the two of them to hack the Iceland government. That is what they claim in a Yahoo article, by the way. This is not like some underground thing. They
yep.
Yahoo wrote about this.
Yep.
All I have to
I've
say is
seen
Sabu's a bitch.
Yeah, and Sabu said, like, yeah, Julian asked us to hack the Iceland government, and in this room, me and Jeremy were, and I think they refused or something, he said, but he still was asked to do it. So that
didn't fucking refuse. He was taken over by the FBI by that point. It's the thing, like, and it's not even Julian who asked; it was Sigurdur Thorson. So it's like they're going to use that and say, "Oh, well, that was Julian speaking. Oh, well, let's fucking prove it, right?" Like, what?
No, they can't, and that is the same as with the cracking of the password of the Chelsea sent to WikiLeaks. They can't prove it was actually Julian doing it, and
Well, I mean, they can
probably
actually
it wasn't.
prove the exact opposite. I mean, even in their own investigations and what they charged Chelsea Manning with, and what she has talked about, right? In their own investigation, that never happened. There was never a time when like they gave Julian Assange the password, the information, access. He never accessed the account. He was not involved in any of that.
No, not himself. No, no, no. So, and that is why they are now pushing with the whole conspiracy thing, saying it's the organization WikiLeaks doing it, and that is what is also a threat to the other media, like even the New York Times and stuff, because they, of course, published the stuff of WikiLeaks, so they are also technically part of the same conspiracy under that law.
Well,
That's
yeah,
why they're all shocked now and paranoid, and they're also suddenly supporting Assange because they know they're part of the same conspiracy now by law. So yeah,
well, I mean, they tried to play along with it, and then it's not a gray area. The media has a specific spot and does specific things, and those were the things that Julian Assange was doing. So he does no different than any other news organization. So at first they were all on board with it, and still in some respects are all on board with it, but at the same time see what's happening. There is no difference.
yeah, because they were hoping Julian would become like the fall guy and everything would be blamed on Julian. But they didn't realize, they should have realized that the OPSEC level at WikiLeaks is so high, it can never be proven who did what. This is all, they have got a very high level of operational security. So the only thing they could do, and what they will do now too, is claim it is a conspiracy done by the organization. So these media should have understood that they would be part of this whole conspiracy too eventually, and that is a game Trump loves to play with,
Well,
this fake media, fake news things.
yeah. That's exactly what I was going to go into too. Is that Trump has been very adamant going after news organizations, calling everybody fake news, and now you're seeing that Trump is going after real news. Um, and documents that are fucking posted online that anybody can fucking look up and look into and verify their authenticity. Um, the biggest thing for the Trump administration is that they were telling journalists that this is only going to go after Assange. It's not going to go after anybody else. But then came the indictment under the Espionage Act. After that, the media went fucking batshit crazy, and now they're actually starting to speak about it, and they're actually starting to fear it and saying this is a dangerous precedent. And yeah, well, you should be. You have a tyrant in the White House pushing for various expansions of not only surveillance but capabilities of the government. And one of those capabilities of the government they want to expand upon is taking away the right to freedom of the press.
But you know that you have to admit that this tyrant, he played a really smart game, because he actually made these media sell out Assange, and then literally declaring themselves fake media in the public by selling out Assange. And now he's going after them with the whole Espionage Act. And of course, we can't support it, but he is actually playing a very smart and evil game against these people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of it is just happenstance, and how much of it was real planning, and not just the corporate news media's own, overzealousness to control the media. Like normal, they went in and promised them, hey, yeah, we're only going to get rid of this bad guy. We just need you to get rid of these, to suspend everybody's rights for a little bit so we can get these bad guys. But they never stop at that. Right? And most of the time, the people that they're telling you are bad guys aren't, and the media went along with it. You were happy to sell out your own brethren, and then, oh, well, when it turns out they're coming for everybody, now you want to start backpedaling. You shouldn't have sold them out to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. They declared themselves like traitors in public by doing it. And I never trusted the big media like CNN and stuff anyway. But
Well, especially CNN, because we know that Amber Lyons, who was a friend of Anonymous, we know how bad she got fucked over for wanting to cover. What did she want to cover again? Anybody fucking remember what she wanted to cover? And CNN told her no. And then when she covered it, they fired her. Was it Bahrain?
No, not right.
I can't remember
Bahrain.
I can't remember what it was. Point being, though, is that CNN literally told her, no, you can't cover this. She covered it, and then she was fired.
it's about Bahrain.
I think it was
Yeah.
Bahrain. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I believe it because all of the big news agencies have, issues that are no goes. That are pretty much immediately will get you fired. Until real recently, climate change was on that list. You come out and openly speak about climate change, fired right away. Get the fuck out of here. So there was, there's plenty of issues that they play that with. The BBC has very similar. Issues that you just can't talk about, can't touch, act like they don't happen.
Yeah, like the BBC pedophile ring that they had going on years ago with Jimmy Savile and the guy that they called Mr. Big. Yeah, that's a big example of something you can't talk about at the BBC.
Yeah,
They covered
so, I mean,
that
they
up the
have-
whole fucking.
And they've all got the list of things that you just do not mention on air, even if they're completely and utterly obvious. Look at any major organization, major news organization, CNN, NBC, ABC, Fox News, all of them. Look at how many times they've called George Bush a war criminal. Never. Not one time.
I pulled the Amber Lions thing up real fast before we got claims we are actually fake news. This Amber Lion worked with journalist Glenn Greenwald, and she investigated and presented findings that the government of Bahrain and other governments in the world are paying CNN for special content casting their countries in a positive light. Well,
That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
Oh yeah, and that's the news's job to cast a country in a positive light whenever asked to. That's news.
Well, what they were doing was they were trying to manipulate for regime change, I believe, in Bahrain. That's what I believe was going on at the time.
Yeah, again, that should be so illegal.
Yeah, so of course CNN denied it, and then
And then they fired her, right?
they did confirm they
fired?
received. Yeah,
Or
but
did she leave?
they did confirm they received money from Bahrain. So at least that part was right.
It was, yeah. Oh no, we took the money. We weren't going to do what they said. We promised. We just took a couple of $1 million.
I don't see anything about firing, but I believe it. I mean, but she was already working with Glenn Greenwald back then, so.
I don't remember. Like I said, I don't remember if she was fired or if she left. But I do remember that CNN was exposed for being corrupt, and that they told her she couldn't cover the story that she wanted to cover, and then she uncovered that CNN was literally paying reporters to cast Bahrain in a positive light when it was literally a negative situation.
Well,
So they took the money and promised that they were still going to do their reporting like they always do. The money didn't change their story, of course.
We talk about firing. She was fired upon together with Tim Pool by the Anaheim Police Department. But yeah, that's another story.
Yeah.
Cat died between two trucks for several minutes to avoid being hit. So.
Again, we don't want to go down the conspiracy theory, road. Have people killed for their own personal reasons.
Especially Turkey.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're more brazen in some cases with it.
I mean, they ran a fucking cement truck on the wrong side of the road into Serena Shim and her cousin, and then took Serena Shim to a military hospital and took her cousin to another hospital. How much more brazen do you have to be from that? And to add on to that, Erdogan literally banned Serena from coming into the country, and then unbanned her and allowed her into the country and lured her into the country by saying that I'll give you an interview, and
Yeah,
then
that
she was
would
dead.
have. Yeah, that would have definitely set off some red flags for me, though. Just in general.
Yeah. For
Oh no, we
anybody.
definitely. It was kind of like the what that journalist that was killed by the Russians. Oh goodness, he was a journalist, and the Putin's wife, the model and ballet ballerina, contacted this journalist and said, "Hey, meet me in this, on this in this alley, and I've got some secret information for you about the Russian government." And yeah, he went back in the alley and was killed. If Putin's wife contacts you for a secret meeting, fucking run, man! Like, are you stupid? But yeah,
Did
yeah,
not hear that story before.
yeah, that was, I forget. I'll post the journalist that it was. But yeah, his Putin's model wife called him and said she had secret information for him that they needed to meet in this alley in fucking Moscow. And then yeah, he ended up dead.
Whoops.
Well, I mean, come on, that was 100% your fault. I have secret information for you about Putin. Meet me in dark alley, 15 minutes.
No, yeah.
No, I'm good. You can send it to my Proton Mail account. I'm
Yeah,
good.
that's seriously, yeah, that's exactly it too. Yeah, if you have information that you want to share, yeah, Proton.
It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't
Not
just
meeting you in
the.
a dark.
Yeah, I'm not meeting you in a dark alley to swap information. Thank you. I'm not going to meet Putin's fucking wife. To be honest, I might call Putin and be like, "Yo, your girl's calling me, right?"
Yeah, he'd kill you.
I'm just like, no. That would be the only way that you probably wouldn't end up dead. Thank you for information. You've been very helpful, my friend.
Yeah, no, I doubt that. No,
Anytime, homie. Anytime. No, they figure you're smart enough to not meet fucking Russian agents in dark alleys. Dark alleys, Trump hotels. Those are places you probably shouldn't be meeting fucking Russian agents. Just throwing that out there.
not only Trump hotels. Any agent, I don't think you should be meeting in a dark alleyway. If you are gonna meet a source, one, it should be in a public place. Two, you should make sure that you're not being followed by black vans, because that's the NSA.
You need to be so very fucking careful. And I mean, anytime we deal with information like that, we've got people that are runners, right? They welcome to the hood, motherfucker. I'm not meeting you. I'm not meeting you face to face. You out of your goddamn mind. But no, thank you for the information.
Oh, see, that was a mistake that Jeremy Scahill made with who's that recent arrest that happened? I can't remember his name. He's a drone whistleblower. But he exposed the schematics of drones, and yeah, I mean he was watched the whole time. So I mean,
Yeah,
they knew they had communication.
Yeah, you will never meet like face to face with me. No way. An an undescript car will pull up
somebody will walk over and get the information, and that is really the end of our interaction. There's never a time where I'm going to meet you in a dark alley to switch info. But yeah, this guy fucking fell for it for sure.
If you're gonna dump information, you just do it the old way and meet at the old Watergate.
Old Watergate building.
Yeah.
No, I've got a couple.
Just,
we've
just
got a-
leave
we've got a
just leave the
couple of-
USB. Just leave the USB right over there. Yeah.
No, we got a couple of fucking waffle shops that definitely. I mean, it's
Waffle
not like you're. Oh fuck yeah, man! You ain't coming in there unless you know somebody. So yeah, we definitely pick out certain spots where they don't take kindly to government.
You don't take kindly to gooberment.
Yeah, not around here, man. Got that USB or not? But no, fuck, I'll find the information on the journalist that met his end.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. I don't know why anybody would want or even agree to meeting Putin's wife in the middle of a fucking
For
dark
secret,
alley.
yeah, for secret information about Putin. Like, are you guys have lost it? I would have started backing out of that room so fucking quick. No.
I would have been like, all right, well, if you got secret information on Putin, you could send a telegram.
Yeah, it goes to my Proton Mail is fine. Proton Mail is fine.
Well, I mean, back then it was probably not Proton Mail. It was probably Telegram. The old like pigeon.
Yeah.
I don't think we had encrypted email as well as we do now. Back then.
Yeah, as we do now. No, it definitely makes it easy. This wasn't that long ago.
Oh, well, in that case, fuck. I don't know why you would meet somebody in a dark alleyway. That's just asking for trouble. I promise. There'll be nothing that happens in the dark alleyway.
Yeah, no funny business. Just dark alley in Moscow. Give me the positive story that's came from a dark alley in Moscow.
Can't think of many.
Yeah, just not a lot of good shit happens at dark alleys in Moscow.
Not a lot of good shit happens in dark
Dark
alleyways
alleys in
anywhere.
fucking general.
Anywhere. Yeah. That's usually the place where shit goes down. Either you're getting robbed, you're getting killed, or you're getting raped.
Yeah,
there's
no good. There's no good.
There's no positive in that situation.
I don't know what this guy thought he was gonna do. He was gonna meet her, get the secret information, and they were gonna run off together, or I don't know what their plan was.
Well, there was no their plan. She had a whole different plan than he had.
Yeah, it's called the honeypot, dude. You just got set the fuck up.
Yeah, if you look at Putin and his wife, then you can already imagine that his wife is approached all the time by people claiming to have info on Putin or wanting info on Putin. They see her as a weak link, but that's obviously a honeypot, of course.
Yeah, I don't know if they know the Russians and Russian women all that well, but loyalty is like a thing.
Yeah, that is the thing that's different. It's different
Yeah.
culture, guys.
Yeah, so yeah, be very careful. Be very careful.
These women are actually more dangerous than the men.
Oh yeah, she will look you right in the eye, tell you that she loves you before she sends you to your death in that dark alley.
Yeah.
No, this guy is really Putin is a really powerful guy. I mean, and why shouldn't he be? I mean,
Well, I mean, he's
can't all
checked
be
off.
one.
Yeah, he's checked off all of the marks to be in the position that he is. Although there's plenty of dissent within the Russian, within Russia, and liked or disliked, he's relatively well liked as a leader of Russia. Our standing on him and our view on him and the view of his own countrymen are completely different, and our reasons are completely different. But as far as, there's plenty of dissent in that, you don't like your leaders. Everybody's leaders are fucking assholes. But he's, definitely more liked, I would say, close to what you saw during the Obama administration for the left and the Bush Jr. administration for the right, where both of them are relatively well liked by their constituents.
Did really Bush had fans? Really?
Oh yeah, come on. We voted him in. We voted him in twice.
Just knew he was a moron.
Yeah,
Well, no, we did not vote him in twice. We voted him in once, and then his brother helped steal the election in Florida.
Yeah, here and there. I mean, it is. He was.
He was the deciding vote. He was the deciding vote. He was the deciding vote. Literally, they rigged him in twice.
Yeah, he was the deciding vote in a vote that people. It wasn't like Bush was losing by a landslide, right? I mean, I agree. I agree that he wasn't like.
No, at that period of time, it was literally one vote that could have changed
the course
of
history.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
So I mean, but
against Al Gore,
against Al Gore, but there wasn't this huge amount of support beyond Al Gore, and just in the presidency speaking, right? And yeah, I mean, maybe that's just my view of what I saw, on my outside, but the he was relatively liked inside of the public. People thought he was a dumbass, but in the way that your fucking puppy's a dumbass, he was relatively well liked.
I think that's an insult to puppies, and I think you should take that back. I think that even puppies and dogs can open up a door better than George W. Bush can.
Oh, guaranteed. But that doesn't. The amount of people that were pro Bush were fucking would give you a headache. I don't know. I saw a lot of.
The amount of people are
a lot of
pro-Trump
dislike after the fact, but during his administration, hated by the left, yeah, but Obama was hated by the right, so that's not really a good. That's why I put them both out there, right? And that kind of, lots of people didn't like Obama, but the general population was okay with it, even though he was fucking you over. Bush was pretty much the same way.
The dumbass narrative, by the way, is pushed by the CIA, right? You guys know this. The CIA pushes the idea that these people are dumbasses.
No,
I really think.
No, I can prove it because they do the same thing with Trump. They have a team on his Twitter. They make grammar mistakes on purpose. He doesn't write the tweets himself. They make a grammar mistake. I've read this in an interview with these guys, and they write this because he is a billionaire and looked at as elitist, but they want to make him look more like the common man. So they make tweets with grammar mistakes, and that he is actually looking dumb.
Yeah,
so the intellectual community looks at him as a dumb guy.
Yeah, but the CIA was not involved
class.
with Bush trying to open up a door or Bush literally confessing that there was no weapons of mass destruction and laughing about it.
It could be, but it is possible.
There was also a slip-up with Bush where he said that there was bombs that were used in 9/11. That's a real video. He literally says that explosives were used in 9/11, and then he goes, he tries to change the subject.
I will say that the idea of Bush being as much of a dumbass as he is, I do think was used to their advantage. Right? People walk away with him not considering him a war criminal because they think that he's so stupid. I think that I would, without talking to the guy, right? I do think some of it's overstated to get away with literal murder. And that they play he's too dumb to know what's going on. He wasn't part of it, blah, 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 blah. He acted like every other Bush that's been in power. So I can't.
I do see that they do play the idiot card to get away with all sorts of with war crimes in this case.
Yeah, it has to do with creating like a character that it is impossible for you to imagine that this character is involved with these high-end conspiracies and stuff, and these high-end planning behind the scene and all those things. It has to do with like psychology. But yeah, I believe you, AK, when you say that he's probably not the smartest guy too, but it's just like that they also use it. They
Well, you know what they are using? They're using Q. Like they're literally capitulating
God.
to it. Like, yeah,
I can't-
no, seriously,
I
they're
can't do
capitulating
that. Like
to it.
The Q thing just does my fucking head in, man. Like I can't. We only get, and I try. Like I do try, just for the discourse and the, the involvement. You do try to talk to these people, and you get 10 words into it, and then they go into the just follow the plan. Like I can't do that, guys. Like we just got done talking about George Bush, about all of these. That's follow the plan. I can't follow that plan. That's a dumb plan.
Well, it's not even Bush. I mean, it's the fact that Trump appointed John Bolton, Mike Pompeo, Gina Haspel, fucking literally filled the swamp with intelligence community. Like,
Well, yeah, the
completely.
yeah. I mean, he surrounded
the
himself.
State
by
Department is ran by the CIA. Like, what?
all departments
Trust
are
the
ran by the
plan.
CIA.
Trust
Yeah,
the
I'm not.
fucking plan.
I'm not down. Well, and then you can't ask any questions like trust the plan. Okay, what's the plan? Well, we don't know the plan. We're just told to trust it. That is stupid. Like I can't. That's just not in my heart. I can't do that. I can't mindlessly follow people
no,
that
no,
I know.
no. The plan is the war with Iran because Q literally said regime change for Iran. Free Iran. So I mean, like, it's so stupid to blindly follow somebody who's saying trust the plan, just trust the plan.
Yeah, we've had like 700 years of trusting the plan. It's a bad plan.
Oh, fuck the 700 years. What about the last decade where the Pentagon has been trying to push for invasion of 7 countries? And, they're behind schedule. It was supposed to happen within 5 years, but it kind of looks like it's still happening.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that there is like zero support for these wars within the population. Beyond I mean, maybe the Q guys, but I mean, even in that support, they ain't sending their kids to sign up. So I mean, they're definitely not. There isn't a wild-eyed patriotic push for any of these wars. Even 9/11, you know what I mean, got quite a push from the. We're gonna go out and fight, terrorism and all of that. Like nobody's even doing that anymore.
Well, what the fuck are they gonna say? These people in another country are threatening us. Let's go in and invade. Like what?
Yeah. They're these are the scariest people. I mean, we have became the world's police force. Yeah, I know. You thought he had a gun. You were threatened. Like the same story. I thought he had a weapon. I thought they had weapons of mass destruction. I felt threatened. Right? That's the same thing that our fucking psychotic police forces use. Why did you murder all those innocent people? We were threatened. I was scared. I thought they had a weapon.
Well, speaking of police forces, did you see the recent mass shooting and the cop that ran away?
Yeah, he's being
as a
charged.
coward.
Yeah, he's being charged now. I definitely agree with him being charged with some sort of cowardice. I mean, the man didn't even fucking open a door. You know what I mean? It wasn't just that you didn't know what to do. He did nothing. Like nothing. Stood there, just
Did he
kind of
have a
acted
firearm?
with his.
He did.
He did have a firearm, but let's say that you just feel like you're undertrained, you're not really set up to deal with this. You know what I mean? You didn't put down cover fire. You didn't even put the alarms on your car. You didn't get out and start giving an update to dispatch to tell them what's going on. Dude didn't do anything. He just kind of stood at the door and hung out for a little bit while all these people were getting massacred. Like it wasn't the what he did that was the problem, is that he did absolutely nothing. Nothing. You know, that's different than saying, hey, I made a tactical decision. You know, I've got a little 9mm here. This guy is armed to the teeth. I couldn't, you know, risk a direct engagement. Fair enough. You know what I mean? You can start ushering people out the back. You know what I mean? You can put a bullet down range to keep him at a corner. You could have done anything. He did nothing. Nothing. And gave like a lot of conspiracy theorists a lot of ammo. No pun intended.
Oh,
That,
did we lose him? Terrence?
I know
Terrence.
he dropped just after like no pun intended. Like
Oh, fuck.
I don't know, he'll be back. He dropped several times tonight. So what else is new?
Let me see.
We can talk about the ACTA thing real quick.
Okay.
Because with ACTA 2, I mean, the copyright directive, so now it's Poland taking ACTA 2 to court, right? They want to stop it and they're taking it to the European Court of Justice. 6 other countries are now joining it, so there are 7 countries total. I don't know what countries these 6 countries are. I do know it is Netherlands, Italy, and Slovakia joining Poland. I'm assuming it's also that Sweden is going to join, and Finland, and maybe Luxembourg too. That's what I'm assuming. So the thing is, with the whole copyright directive, it's of course going to censor the EU internet, but the states got 2 years to implement this new directive into law. They have to write new law for their country, and it has to be the law needs to fit in with the new directive. They can choose whenever they will do it within these 2 years, but 2 years is the limit. So what the Polish are now attempting is to stall this, or to defeat this, of course, but to at least stall this, because on average, EU Court of Justice ruling takes between 2.5 and 4.5 years. So they can, of course, say like we won't implement this before we've heard a ruling over this. So that means you can add the 4.5 years max to the 2 years implementation, and it would take like 6.5 years to implement it.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, we have a real big chance to just throw out the asshole.
Yeah. Because it will be like a new elections even. I mean, I think elections are like once in 3 years or something. Don't even know. It's just like a very weird. It's once in 3 years, I think. So and then there will be a new government again. So we have like a whole period of like 3 years to like talk shit about the censorship thing and about the current politicians and to have them removed. So that at least gives us like a fighting chance.
And if you're against the internet, then I fear for your.
Yeah. That's the thing, and the police are starting to organize new street protests now. They want some help with that, but we will organize new street protests in the rest of Europe too, and like hoping to create like a situation similar to like Gilets Jaunes, to have like weekly protests or like 2 weekly protests, and then just make sure people don't forget about it.
Yeah, for sure.
No, Canada is starting out with something similar, and I've heard the US will probably try to implement it too.
Well, if
So-
Canada test beds it, the next thing it's coming to the U.S. I mean, the 2 test beds for the U.S. are the U.K. and Canada, because they're 2 similar countries when it comes to society.
yeah. And they will try it with Canada. The population is small, so it's an easier place to test such things to not have too much backlash. But in America, you do have one powerful force that will attempt to stop this, and that's of course Silicon Valley. They don't like this stuff, and they are because it limits them, and they just want like free growth and everything. So it might come between like it will cause like a clash between Silicon Valley and the government. I think. At least I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that. I mean, and it's because Silicon Valley has got power and money, and it could be used to help the people a lot more than it has been. And a lot of these, this isn't. You were kind of talking before. This isn't old money. When it comes to Silicon Valley, these are new ideas and new systems and new money. We kind of need to use it that way.
Yeah, and in science, like the scientists, they love to have like a room where they can discuss everything, where there are no limits to things. And in the scientific world too, in Silicon Valley, they like places where they can freely express themselves and where they can grow free and have like new ideas and these things. And that with this whole censorship stuff, it's just going to be restricted. And I don't think many in Silicon Valley will be in favor. Perhaps Facebook will be in favor of it, but that's about it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what are they gonna? Even when it comes to like the internet, like right now, yeah, the government does have control, and they've got everybody wants their countrywide intranet or ClearNet versus the controlled net. But what are they gonna do when you've got those internets and then the free Google net that's over through all the Google satellite, right? Are they gonna how are they going to control that?
Well, you see that Google Net is going to be basically the NSA spying on everybody. Do not trust.
No,
Yeah,
true,
I
but
mean, there's whether it's the Google Net, I know India is putting up free satellites as well.
Yeah, but you got a question when somebody's giving you free internet. All right, well, why are you doing this? Okay, you're data mining. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in some cases it's data mining, and it may have to do with controlling advertising. But at the end of the day, there's the internet is such in so much more of an idea than it is a technology in some cases.
for them to even be able to data mine anything or to like spy on people, you have to actually allow free speech first, right? What else is there
Yeah.
to spy on? Like, I mean, it's like sometimes I think like people are like listening to this show or like I mean like the agencies are like listening to this show or like tapping into our stuff and just think like just start the show on YouTube. You can just listen to us. You can hear everything we're saying. That's like the easiest way to spy. Just allow us to talk and don't cut off anything. Like, how is that going to help you?
Yeah, I mean but they'll spend $1 billion to listen to our show, like covertly rather than watch it on YouTube for free. I mean, that's the kind of people that we that we deal with, unfortunately.
Like, they're like hiding in
It's
like these
all
secret
about
fans and
it's all
stuff.
about echelon. It's all about echelon and different various keywords, and that's how they tap into things. It's you say a certain keyword over the air, and all of a sudden you're being. That's a real thing, and people don't think that that's a real thing. Edward Snowden revealed all of this information years ago in regards to the capabilities that the ICs or the intelligence community has when it comes to spying on anybody, and especially activists. That's their number one target. Number one target.
Which is so weird. I mean, that is
Yeah,
weird. I mean, it's odd that they call themselves an intelligence agency, right? And then the only people that you're spying on are activists, which, I mean, in general have been right, and you guys have been wrong on just about every issue. Go
yeah,
back 10 years and look at the things that, the activists and the people that they were looking at and the things that they were saying. They were on the wrong side over and over again.
It's even worse when you have companies like Monsanto
Yeah, I was
and
just going to say,
Bayer
how many times do I have...
Pharmaceutical paying
many ti-
for contractors to basically harass activists online, watch activist, stalk activist,
Yeah, I mean
defame online.
they bought Blackwater specifically for that.
Right, right, and that was through Kofor Black, who I believe Kofor Black was involved in the CIA. Don't quote me on that, but I'm like pretty sure the guy was.
Yeah, all of our research has shown about the same.
Usually, when the army goes into a place and then goes out again, they have the commercial companies take over the security for bases and stuff, and places, companies that move in. So they're always close with intelligence and with the military, of course. Yeah, yeah. Blackwater has like 60 different companies too with different names, and they're all involved in this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, because they keep on going bankrupt. I don't know how Eric Prince can't seem to make money being a fucking mercenary, but there you go. I think he's ran 3 or 4 of them into the ground now.
I found it. Kofor Black was director of the CIA Counterterrorist Center in 1999 to 2002, a coordinator of counterterrorism and an ambassador in 2002 to 2004 under George W. Bush. So, yeah.
Epic.
This
fail.
is the guy. This is the guy that you fucking hired to have activists harassed and surveilled by a military contractor company just because they were standing up against Monsanto and GMOs, which, by the way, Monsanto is now being sued with over 13,000 fucking lawsuits.
Billions of dollars in last
Billions of dollars they're losing at a increasing rate. So
yeah, which
fuck
again,
you,
like
Monsanto.
where they spent all of that money, did all of the, and no, you're not in trouble for that, right? You're not in trouble for spying on American citizens for a giant company like Monsanto that's literally poisoning our people and our entire fucking planet. You don't get in trouble for that.
See, that's the weird thing. Like, except for like having like a bought judge in.
At what point does that become treason?
Yeah, no, but that's also what I mean. Like, the Monsanto is not actually doing a favor to the U.S. government, and I'm thinking like, activists are fighting against these people who are poisoning the food, also your food, of these government employees. I mean, maybe give these activists a little break and maybe help them a bit. Like,
it never happens. They never send in covert operatives to fight on behalf of the people against giant corporations. They don't do that.
Another story that kind of fits into this with corruption and just the double revolving door that goes around in the government, from the legal system to Wall Street and these big corporate executive companies, is the story of Chevron abusing Amazon villagers in Ecuador. I don't know if you heard that or not. And the whole entire situation that's going on with this story.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you start looking into it, especially when it comes to oil companies, Africa, South America. I mean, in the States, if there's an oil spill, they kind of make the motions like they're cleaning it up, or they give a fuck. If it's like leaking directly into your water supply and you're outside of the continental U.S., they do not give a fuck. If they want to put an oil company through, you saw the small amount of restraint that they had at Standing Rock. They don't have that restraint at all. They just send them to kill you.
Well, in this case, the judge, Lewis A. Kaplan, ruled in favor of the oil companies, but the oil company Chevron. But the biggest thing that's involved with this story is that the judge himself has investment in Chevron and failed to disclose having that investment, and ruled in favor of Texaco /Chevron, who
Yeah, so
basically
if you're a mafia boss and you buy a judge, right, they put you in jail. But if you're a CEO and you buy a judge, then it's all good.
right, and another thing that's very visible in this case is Kaplan repeatedly called the Ecuadorian villagers who are suffering numerous illnesses from the toxic waste spill. He called them plaintiffs instead of victims, meaning, in a sense, in a legal sense, he was already siding with the company
Yeah.
instead of siding with the people who claim to be poisoned by the company.
Yeah, I totally believe that. I mean, it's so common now. I mean, it's more common than uncommon. I mean, you can look, every single judge in Morton County and Standing Rock is on the payroll of the oil companies. Every single one.
That's not even the end of it. Judge Kaplan then moved to go after the attorney for the villagers, Stephen Donziger, and basically he was saying that he wanted him disbarred for a civil racketeering lawsuit that the Chevron brought against the lawyer activist and the villagers. Like, this is fucking insanity, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it is. I mean, it 100% is insanity. I know that, oddly enough, Arnold Schwarzenegger is suing several of the big oil companies for, like, for negligence, for knowingly murdering indigenous peoples, tribes, and all of that stuff. And he's one of the few people that's got enough money to actually do it. They can't really touch him. I'll post the thing in there, but yeah, he's brought lawsuits against several of the oil companies that are operating for those very things. But I mean, it shouldn't be Arnold Schwarzenegger suing them. The U.S. government should be going nuts. These people should be in prison.
Well, Arnold was thinking kind of like the popularity guy, I guess. I mean, he's like supposed to keep the popularity up of the people, so he's allowed to like sue them and take them on. I'm not sure
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think just he's got the money, the power, and the influences to do it. I don't know his personal drive behind it. But so many more people could do something about it. He's one of the. I think he's the only person in that league that is.
Yeah.
If all of the artists and musicians and actors that were out there, right, did the same thing, stood with him, you could get some serious shit done.
Yeah, definitely.
But I'll post the lawsuit that he's paying for, which is a big part of what kills us in any of these protests is the court costs afterward.
Yeah.
Especially when they're charging you with 20 years for protesting an oil pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely fucking nuts.
Especially when you're right. That's on top of all of this shit, is that we're right. Like, these oil companies are actually fucking killing you. Monsanto is 100% fucking murder. That shit is poison. But they're arresting the people that are standing up against it, and then giving the people that are poisoning you and your family fucking tax breaks and incentives and billions of dollars in fucking subsidies and help in the courts and geez, if you need to use the Corps of Engineers, if you need to use mercenaries, CIA, FBI, anything you need, guys, anything you need. It's kind of sickening. The people defending your planet are eco-terrorists, and the people that are destroying it are captains of industry. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's kind of like Orwellian. It is like the the opposite of what you think is going on is actually going on.
Well, I mean, it's not like the opposite of what you know is going on,
Yeah,
right? Like I think that's what makes it crazy is like you know that the people defending your planet aren't terrorists. Like you know that. You know that oil isn't freedom molecules. You already know that, but fuck, do they keep on trying it? Like they think that you're that stupid. Oh, it's not. I guess that's the new thing, right? Is they're not calling it fossil fuels. It's freedom molecules.
Oh my god, man! Like freedom molecules.
Yeah, and like
Freedom molecules. The
yeah, so
fuck
the,
of a kind
this
of a
isn't-
term is
this
that?
This is official from the EPA, from the government, from the Trump administration. They are no longer to mention it as fossil fuels. They are called freedom molecules. It's called freedom gas.
Freedom get what?
Oh yeah, even if you look at Trump's Facebook wall or Twitter wall, right? He's quit calling it fossil fuels as well. He's quit using oil, coal, any of those words.
Oh, so now we're calling them freedom resources? Like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is
that's exactly what we're calling them. They're freedom molecules, freedom resources, freedom gas. You just look, if it's popular, you just put freedom in front of it, and it's fine.
I really
They had-
just believe you're trolling me right now, and there's no way, impossible reality. That this is real.
I am not trolling you. I swear, man. I swear. This is not. This is like that's the world we live in. The real news is so unbelievable at this point.
Yeah,
This
and
is
we'll
official. This is official from the E EPA.
I will say when I saw a article about Facebook wanting to
Trump
utilize
administration
fucking robots,
rebrands fossil fuels as freedom molecules.
it's fucking insanity, man.
Energy Department tries rebranding natural gas as freedom molecules. That's today from the Energy Department.
That's
Trump
fucking
administration
insane.
rebrands of molecules of freedom.
Wait, this is today.
That was from today. From the Energy Department.
What? What? Fucking Q, man. Fucking
think-
energy.
I think Tyler's head just exploded.
No, I'm
I don't
just
mind
laughing.
it.
literally, what? What?
It's like,
I
dude,
am
did I
not
just
like
wake up
you.
in an acid trip? Like, is this
Yeah,
really happening?
I am
man?
not. I am not.
No. This is
The
only
government-
CERN's fucking nightmare. That's all. That's all. Go back.
This is CERN's fucking fault. I shit you not. I've been saying that from the very, very, very beginning. They turned it on, everything looked cool, it seemed like it was fine, and then all of a sudden a guy in a white lab coat jumped in, like burst in the room, was like, "Guys, we fucked up bad. Watch the TV. Trump is president." What? Guys, we fucked up real bad. We changed dimensions. We now live in a dimension where Trump is president and fossil fuels are called freedom molecules. I shit you not.
Seriously though, like what the?
Maybe the
fuck?
Mandela effect was
Freedom?
real, bro. Maybe it was real.
That is more believable than the Energy Department rebranding natural gas as freedom molecules.
Man, like,
Freedom fries, freedom. If you want to get Americans to sign it, right, support it, you got to put freedom or patriot in front of it. That's all you got to
Kentucky
do.
Freedom Chicken.
I was just about to say the next thing you know, they're gonna call fucking
McDonald's-
Monsanto's Roundup. Monsanto's Roundup
Freedom spray.
Patriot.
Freedom spray.
Patriot spray. Only real patriots use Roundup.
Patriot spray.
Does
Yeah,
anybody?
because
Did we talk about?
it gives you freedom cancer, I think is.
Did we talk about YouTube? The YouTube purge.
We did kind of in the beginning, but that was when YouTube was still censoring us.
Yeah, yeah. I would comment on Varg Vikernes, but I'm afraid we'll lose our channel. Though.
Okay, so what they did was they said they were like going to like kill off like Nazi promoters and stuff, like
But
neo Nazis and
how
stuff. But
does
what they did
Varg
was also
fall into that category when he was a Nazi
yeah, no,
20
that's
years
that's
ago? 20 years ago he was a Nazi, and I'm like I'm pretty active in the black metal community. I just don't understand how they could affiliate him with the Nazi community 15 years after he's done cold hard time for that crime, and he's I mean, I'm not saying that he's like sane in any sort of sense, but I wouldn't call him a Nazi,
Well, it's the
They
difference
gotta get sued.
between
That's it. That's what it is.
agreeing. It has the difference between agreeing with somebody's ideology and agreeing that they have the right and the freedom to be able to
I guess
speak.
they're incorporating his when he burned the churches in Norway, it was not about Satanism. For him, he was trying to promote it was more political stunt, but it was more along going the lines of Old Norse mythology.
Mm.
okay, but this was the worst. No, the worst one who was banned today. I mean, what I was going to say is that they claimed they were going to kill off Nazis from it, but they have literally like killed like all kind of material, including one of like a famous history teacher. This is Scott Alsop, who like has 15 years worth of material of Nazi research into fascism. He's not a fascist. His research into fascism all removed from
This is
YouTube.
We said that was gonna happen. Fucking like, how many times we got to be right? Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting to the
they-
point.
they,
It's getting to the point
like-
where they're going to erase. When you start censoring stuff like this, this is dangerous because they're literally trying.
Well,
to erase,
normally it wouldn't. The problem is you're having one group of tyrants and fascists, right, try to police another group of tyrants and fascists.
Yes, I'm not saying that I agree with Nazis or whatever, but when you censor people, you're not it's I don't know, John, you know the term I'm thinking of. It's like you're.
Well, I mean, I think. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
I'm
go ahead, go
dealing
ahead.
with a lot of lag and shit here. I mean, look, my issue with this is that I prefer my racists, my Nazis, my opponents to be in front of me. Right?
Yes.
I like them to be able to speak out. I know where they are. I know what they're doing. I know what they're saying. I know where their marches are. Right? I can get on there and give them all sorts of shit for being the racist scum that they are. Right? But as soon as they go through this way of censoring them, they put them underground. Now they're meeting in secret meetings, right? They're planning secret shit. I don't know where they're going to be. I don't know what dumbass racist shit they're going to be doing. Right?
I
And
don't
that part
understand
fucking
how a
scares me.
black metal artist still falls into this category.
Well, they like
Just for
music.
stuff he did
music
15
is,
years ago.
Music is always, yeah. I mean, even then, this has little to do because they've taken off a bunch of metal stuff that has nothing to do with politics. They just don't like metal.
This
Yeah,
is
well, in this case, they removed a YouTube channel of a history teacher with 15 years of history, and it has it covers 1,000 years of human history. Only 10% of it was covering like World War II, and they removed the entire thing. And it has like 150
They're
videos,
gonna
all
get
documentaries.
sued.
Well, yeah, and
It's
we're destined to repeat it, because people start like you get into these things, you look at the kids in concentration camps right now, right? Well, you can't even show, look, this is what a concentration camp looks like. Oh, well, that's
well,
was, that has to do with
something
Nazis
Americans
taken
forget
down.
is we had concentration camps here in America. So
We've always had
we did.
concentration camps. It's never stopped.
Well, what they don't realize is if you censor this information, history's gonna fucking repeat itself.
Oh, exactly. For
Because
It
sure.
is
people
repeating. It
eventually
is
going to
repeating
forget about
itself.
it.
Yeah, but there's
Well,
also
yeah,
people who don't understand that the only reason concentration camps existed was because they were censored. But the people
Right.
didn't know about it.
Right,
The moment
yeah.
people knew about it was when they
Well,
were.
what do you think
were
Exactly.
YouTube is doing
dismantled.
right now? They're censoring anything that they
Are you
censoring-
calling
because-
YouTube a concentration camp? A digital
but I'm saying-
concentration?
Yeah,
Basically,
but I'm saying that they are leading to more concentration camps because people don't see the horror of what goes on
Yeah.
there, the reasons
I
that they were
agree.
created.
Take for
There's
instance
yeah, it
what's
is
going on in China.
it does make your stomach turn. It does bring up emotions and stress you out. It's supposed to, or you'll keep doing it.
yeah.
So I mean, there's several. Like I said, the problem is that you have a tyrannical government, a fascist government, trying to police previous fascist and tyrannical governments, and that causes a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem. But anyway,
Because their
guys,
goal is
I'm
not
gonna
to
jump off
stomp
here.
out. Oh yeah, we're done. We're not. Their goal is not to stomp out fascism. Their goal is to become better fascists, and that's a problem for me.
Yeah, but they're now also catching the opposite of the coin, because now I'm reading about this other video journalist who is also censored, Ford Fisher, who reports on extremism in the U.S. politics on his YouTube News to Share, and he also was demonetized, and later on stuff was removed, and it only shows like stuff about exposing like Holocaust deniers and stuff. It is literally the opposite of the coin is being censored too now. It is like
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like in 2019, you can't, I mean, like the people that they're shutting down, again, it's like your goal is not to root out Nazis, right? Your goal is not to root out white supremacy. You guys have had, what, 70 years, 80 years to root out white supremacy? That is obviously not your goal. Why don't you treat one of these white supremacist groups like you treat fucking water protectors? Right? You got Tiger Swan sitting outside of fucking some white supremacist rally right now? No, you don't. Right, when those, when all of you see the things that go on in our world, the church burnings and the shootings and the fucking lynchings and the murders and whatever, you guys' fucking goal is not to root out white supremacy. Not at all.
yeah. So yeah, and that's I totally agree with you. What Taryn was saying, like we need our Nazis visible, because
Yeah,
that is yeah.
yeah, I like to know where they are. I like this, and then exactly. You can put a picture to it, right? Share and shame. This is a guy that you need to fucking look out for, right? Make sure not to hire him. Don't give him any money, right? Like, I mean, there's all sorts of deals that you make them look. You don't want to be the poster child for neo-Nazism.
Yeah, I think it has to do with like this whole fear-based society. People are like scared, like thinking like if we allow them to speak, then maybe we will not be capable to debate them because we're like intellectually incapable. But we're not. Like
Yeah, we have
debate.
no problem. We have no problem shutting down Nazis on the internet. This is
No,
not a
it's
hard. The best thing to do is you're in a chat room and some fucking neo-Nazi sack of shit pops up in there. They get shut down so fucking quick. And not just like shut down, but they end up leaving with their tails between their legs.
of course,
Right.
because
I
they
don't know.
can't.
All I'm saying is that censorship is a dangerous thing in any way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, and the more knowledge we have about them and what they're doing, like death camps and stuff, the more we know about it, like the more we can actually discredit them and destroy them. Like if we want to take care of them, I mean, if we don't know what they're doing, then how can we even like? If
Oh,
someone gets
some of
killed
these.
by Nazis on the street, let's say that, and we don't even know
Let,
where to
let me just
discuss
say,
that stuff, then yeah,
yeah, let me just say this before I jump off. The whole argument has been for like the past couple years that Nazis are bad, hate speech is bad. Let's give the social media companies more power, and we've got what we asked for. Literally, we've got what we asked for, and I was always against kind of going after the Nazis and just fucking taking their accounts down because, it's a different thing when you're hacking a fucking KKK website or something, right? But if
You're
you are
allowed to mess with them. I mean, of course.
Well, no, look, there's a difference, but there's a difference. There's a difference. Your rights as a citizen say that the government, right, cannot censor you, cannot take away your right to free speech, cannot take away
right,
your
but it's
First
not the
Amendment
government;
rights.
it's the
But yeah,
social
but that
media
has
companies,
nothing
and
to
we're
do.
cheering it on.
Oh yeah,
That's
but I mean,
my point.
the
My point is that like we've been cheering this on, and this is what we're getting. We're getting fucking history now censored
Yep.
by YouTube. Like a thousand years of history is now gone
Yeah.
just because of YouTube taking down a historian because they talked about Nazi Germany, and it's not even just YouTube admins doing this. They have implemented into the algorithm something that is highly controversial, where they're looking for references to the Nazis, and it doesn't matter if it's good or bad,
Yeah,
whatever
they
you're
just take it
fucking
down,
saying,
which is
they
what
just
we've
take
been
it
having
down.
problem with. Is like when
Yeah,
because we make fun of Nazis constantly. We make fun of government officials that are fucking Nazis. And they started taking it down where if something has a Klan hood on it. So like we've gone through and through all sorts of government officials. Put them in movies. The recent immigration guy, right? What did he say that he could smell? Gang members inside of immigrant groups or inside of whatever. And we put it was weird. And we put, the Jew hunter from the Inglorious Bastards, we put his face in that because the guy says something very similar that he can smell them, blah, you have to sink like a Jew, blah, blah, blah. Right. So we put that same, he said basically the same statement. And yeah, they took down all of our stuff, censored it, fucking blocked our page for a couple of days because we dressed him up like the Nazi that he is.
You know what is a big problem especially in the United States, and that is that the education is not telling people about the history of the Nazis. Like, let's say, like the Nazis, the reason these people, what they did when they came to power was corner the term hate speech, because the first thing that was happening when Hitler was rising to power was the mainly Jewish writers were writing against Hitler and stuff, were exposing the stuff the Nazis were doing, and the first thing Hitler did and his regime was banning hate speech. They were saying these Jewish writers are hate speech, and he was making these books illegal. He was doing book burnings, and he was calling the press Lügenpresse, which means fake news, pretty much a lying
Fake
press.
news. Well, I mean, when you watch these historical records, when you watch, especially when dealing with World War II, a lot of it pre-World War II, so before the Nazis took power, is a lot of the things that are super important. And you'll hear the speeches and the terms and the things that they say. And when you hear people repeat them, you don't even know that they're being repeated unless you have that historical knowledge. And that's something that I definitely see being lost because you'll watch, not just Trump, but you'll watch one of these speeches and hear them talk, and you'll be like, wait a minute, I've heard this before, right? I've heard
Yeah.
those same terms, the same line of thought, the same line of thinking for the same reasons. And you don't have that ability to have the historical reference when they've erased it like this.
Of course. Yeah, and but there was many.
It's the hearts and minds thing, right? If you hear a leader say the words, the hearts and minds, you should be running in the other direction, right? Because it's one of those terms that historically is used over and over and over again to fuck us. But then finding that information after the fact when they said it can become difficult when you allow them to censor it like this.
Yeah, no, exactly, and the people can't recognize it anymore if all the indicators are being banned. That is what's very dangerous. You have all these signs of rising fascism and whatever, rising oppressionism, and you're banning all the indicators. You can't see it anymore because if the indicators would be visible, then it would be very easy to see what's going on. I mean, especially now with the whole Assange thing too, where free press is being arrested, and there's like among some people there's like obsession with getting him convicted, not even realizing what the hell he exposed.
Oh yeah, go to the Clinton bot sites, right? Go to the Clinton bot sites, and you will see the seething hatred that they have for Julian Assange.
Yeah, and he exposed like literally American soldiers, or at least soldiers, killing like innocent people, including 2 journalists. And then you're going to say like, oh yeah, let's arrest the guy who exposed this. And
Yeah,
second,
and not arrest any of
let's
the
have the
people
guy
that were
who,
actually doing that. In fact,
yeah, yeah,
let's we'll give them
yeah.
pardons.
So let's arrest the guy who exposed that video, and let's have him judged upon by the actual murderer he is exposing. Like, it
Yeah.
was the American army who's murdering these innocent people, and you send him to America to have the American army judge on him. Like, this is like,
Yeah, that makes
it's,
sense.
yeah, it's like, it's just shocking. Like, it's really shocking.
It is I agree. It is shocking because it seems, we should be so past this in 2019. It does seem like we've went somehow, you know what I mean? Back in time, you feel like you are living in that moment of Nazi Germany where people are always, why didn't you do something? Why didn't you say something? Why we're trying people were trying then as well, and they were being crushed by the same sort of oppression.
Hey, there is someone in the chat now. I noticed on YouTube. He says, she says, can we ask about Texas making it a federal crime for protesting pipelines?
Yeah, so I mean, there's actually a few states that are doing that right now. That are pushing these draconian laws for pipeline protests. Some of them, 20 years for protesting a pipeline. Knowing that we're moving away from fossil fuels, that they're destroying our planet, that these oil companies are fucking evil, that they've bought our governments and mercenaries and all of that shit, rather than persecute or start moving towards the future. Their fix is to try to pressure water protectors and pipeline protesters from protesting to save our future, which they're not going to do. Like, we're not going to stop, right? Just because the time is on our side, right? The fossil fuel industry is coming to a smashing halt, like, extremely quickly, right? But it is insane that they're able to still push these nightmares through. But yeah, 20 years for protesting a pipeline.
Oh, you guys discussed this already. Okay. Yeah, but now I remember you guys mentioned 20 years before already.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, we were talking about quite a bit on the way by, but this is directed specifically at people defending their planet, right? Defending their own land, right? Standing up against oil companies, which, I mean, we know are some of the most corrupt corporations on the planet. Beat only by the pharmaceutical industry. But yeah, basically, less time than you would get for murder, way less time than you would get for child molestation, right? Less time than any of or more time than any of the people that poison Flint's water will get. More time than any of the people that have been caught now in our government, doing everything from tax evasion to embezzling. But like, name the corporate crime that's been committed, and none of them equal what they're trying to give to water protectors, to earth defenders. Sad.
It is actually sad.
I think pathetic, is the real word. Like, what they're doing is absolutely pathetic.
Okay, and Jen says, thanks for all the good we do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for supporting us. I know we're closing down here. We're actually like 14 minutes over, but we started a little bit late. I mean, everything has to do with us. Unity is our strength, right? Everything has to do with our viewers, people sharing information out, and not just ours. I'm talking about like alternative media, right? So I mean, sharing the truth, sharing the stories that come by, the stories that they're not sharing. Right? If it's a trending story, chances are it doesn't need to be shared, right? If it's the things, things about Julian Assange, things about the media, things about the Sudan and Syria, things that have to do with the people, those are the things we have to make a concerted effort to educate ourselves at, and then once we're educated on it, share it to others, right? It's going to take us doing it because they're not going to.
Yeah, like I was just thinking on the back end, we should probably also stream to a service where they won't censor us, because if this is the way YouTube's going to play, we need to seriously move on to another platform just in case, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're having. I mean, like, you know, VK is good. You know, as soon as there is a real viable um platform, but you know, until then, I think our best bet is to just be on all of them. You know, and then you know, there's sometimes where you know you're gonna end up watching us on YouTube. There's sometimes you're gonna watch us on Twitter or VK or Lord
Well,
forbid,
I took
fucking
us off of
Facebook.
Facebook completely because of the.
Yeah, I don't think like I normally repost our stuff through there, but our main page we just post the link.
Yeah.
We're being a shadow banned anyway there on that page, so
Yeah,
it's
because
really not worth it anymore.
it's
It's
not
just,
worth it, because I'll get like, on average, it'll say that I have 3 or 4 or 5 people watching, but I'll have 1,000 views. And I'm not sure what the data is actually telling me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure if those are computer views or if those are people.
yeah, but you
Yeah.
also know that Sylvia is like spending so much time. Like she shares like 150, 200 times to like different pages, like of our old page. We used to own like old groups when we were still active there, but it's like really not increasing the number. It's like just staying the same.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
before they implemented all of this shit, we used to get 30,000 views a show. It was ridiculous. And now it's like we're lucky if we get more than 3,000 on that platform. It's
Well,
not
I mean,
worth
I
it.
know none of those. I know none of those numbers are accurate. Just in the amount of like messages and posts and information that comes our way, and people that would that would never that you come across. They're like, oh yeah, hey, I watch you guys' show, blah 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 blah, and we get the thank yous and all of that. And if we were being if we were only getting 2 people watching, that would not be happening.
No, no, and sometimes
Samuel Hall says, "Is there a
you
service
saw
that
like
can do
4
that?"
people watching the stream, and you had like 15 people replying below it about it.
Yeah, yeah. And we
Um,
see that like a lot in these that like our numbers, our comments, like none of that matches up in the amount, like I said, because people that aren't in our circle, message or talk or will contact you, kind of know that you're getting out to the larger community.
yeah. Well, Samuel says, "Is there a service that out there that can do that?" Which I would think he was responding to how censorship on different platforms. What I was kind of referring to is maybe building our own thing, but that's something that would take a little bit of time. But if you got the know-how, you can build an RTMP server and you can stream to your own site.
Yeah, I mean, we'd like to get On3 up and going, but toss us some bitcoins, guys. Unfortunately, I mean, we've looked into it, and just there's starting a social media network. It has nothing to do with skill. We can have that fucker up, next week, right? And people will have an open fucking everything you can do on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all of that. Streaming videos, posts, groups, like the works. We can do all of that, but we have to be able to compete, man. It takes $1 million to get a social media network off the ground.
Well,
And
we do have like the site like anonymousbitesback.com, but like I have a server available, Tyler, you can use for like audio stream, but at some point we will reach like limits, and we will have to increase
Yeah,
like
exactly. We'd
yeah,
have to
we
buy
get
the storage.
being able to handle a billion users, 2 billion users is a lot. It's not that it can't be done. Pretty easy. The technology is not hard, and On3 also does things like cures cancer in the background. But like I said, we're not a giant corporation. We're completely moved by the people. So it really has to do with if that's what if somebody really wants to get involved, that would really help. We got to set up the servers. We got to get it going.
Yeah,
Solitary Reaper is asking about Australian hypocrisy on press freedom and how they're not talking about Julian Assange at all.
Yeah, and they're not. I mean, the government's not really defending him where they could. He's still an Australian citizen, and they're not. They're not there for him the way that they should be. Everybody that's involved with this knows that it's wrong. To the governments that are letting this shit fly and working with the Americans, I ask why. You know, what benefit do you get from this other than like, it's not going to work out for you in the long run. Like, yeah, this time you get to fucking put the hammer down on Julian Assange, but when the US NSA is in there, like, spying on all of your government officials and your citizens, right? That's going to be crushed too. There will be no media or journalists out there to speak out for you because you supported them destroying Julian Assange. Right? There is no benefit to you helping the U.S. in this state. Stand with the people for fucking once. Like, to any government that's playing this game with the U.S., stand with the people. This is wrong. You know it's wrong. You know everything about it's wrong. You know the information that they that Julian put out has saved millions of lives, kept the world from going to World War fucking III. Like, Jesus Christ, stand with the people.
So I saw a video with Julian Assange's father. It was on Australian TV, but it's already a few months old. People can find on YouTube. It's about Julian Assange's dad speaks out. They were on Australian TV. They were bad mouthing Julian Assange so bad, but his father was actually doing a great job, and he was very powerful in the way he spoke to them. And he also explained some things about the lies they were spreading about him, like. It was about the whole rape case in Sweden, and the saying that Assange is like hiding in an embassy against that. But Assange, that he pretty much he explains it perfectly. He said like, no, he was not hiding at all. He was supposed to go to the UK to speak with them about it, and then the second he left, they issued an arrest warrant for him. So when he found out about this arrest warrant, he of course went to the embassy instead of to the meeting place. Because there was supposed to be a meeting and discussion about this with like Swedish guys, but the UK issued an arrest warrant for him, like the second he left, and so he was not hiding at all. He was protecting himself against a UK arrest warrant that is about extradition to the USA, not about this whole rape case thing. So.
Yeah, and I can't say that like the English people are on like the side of any of this. You saw the outrage about Trump even visiting, right? So I mean, I can't. It's so backwards that these governments are still playing these games, and I don't understand the why. Like, I don't see the benefit to them.
No, and this is an intellectual, Julian Assange. That is what makes them really scared. He knows how to talk, and he makes a very intelligent impression when he talks, very convincing. And you could also see that with his father, who actually has like a similar voice and is like an intellectual too. He like the way he talks. He impresses them so much that at the end of his talk, they're like kind of agreeing, and they're like saying like, "Yeah, it is very smart what you're saying. Like, you're very intelligent." That's pretty much they end with compliments, and they started with the whole bad mouthing and attacking. And afterwards, like after he spoke, they can't even disagree with him. Like, yeah, this is.
Yeah, I mean, I think after even the people in the corporate media that were trying so desperately to badmouth him, anytime they got any of us on, anytime they got anybody that could eloquently like speak up, right? They end up agreeing with them more chances than not. It's odd because as soon as you can push through the weird government propaganda narrative, it falls apart pretty quick.
Yeah, they just know like every minute they allow him to speak, he's going to convince more people against them. That's why they're so scared.
It's not just speak. I mean, anytime he's on camera, look, just him holding that book, right? I mean, he got more information out just by being arrested.
Yeah, and they were even like denying that he would be extradited and stuff. And the first thing he said when he was arrested, like the only thing he shouted was, "You have to stop them from extraditing." Like, UK resist extradition.
Yep.
Like he like yeah,
Literally.
he already knew that would happen.
Oh yeah, and they were what our next thing? Oh no, we're not going to charge him with anything. Don't worry. 17 fucking charges later.
Yeah, just to start. I mean, yeah, 17 new charges, and there was like this original charge already, so that's 18, and now there's another one coming up. It's 19. So, yeah.
Yeah, so we will. I guess we gotta shut down here, but yeah, we will keep everybody as up to date as humanly possible on what's going on with Julian. As soon as we get them, we are in contact with everybody that we can be. But information is hard to come by. Um, it's just between the censorship, between them trying to keep information from getting out. We get it to you the best way we can, but it's definitely difficult. Um, so yeah, please kind of keep on our page, share information out, and guys, we will overcome. I do think we will win. It's just going to be a hard fight. We said that these battles are definitely winnable, right? Freedom, peace is possible. We just didn't say it was going to be easy.
Yeah, no. If you care about like listening to like ABB show, we do broadcast every week, and but if we are like censored on YouTube or whatever or on another place, try to visit one of the other links because
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we're not going anywhere. Like right now, I know for the people that are on the Captain Planet Twitter page, my Twitter is down, but we will be getting another page up here until we find out whether that one's temporarily shut down or shut down for good.
You know what I actually thought of? There's a app that's popular in South Africa that I might start streaming to, but that's something for the future.
Yeah,
stream
we
to
are
as
gonna.
many just stream to as many locations as possible. I mean,
Yeah.
there'll always be one
Yeah,
location open.
if there's, I mean, and look, if you guys contact us and say, hey, we'd like to, we're on this platform and we'd like to see, ABB stuff on there, guys, we'll jump on it and start uploading shit, no doubt. Our thing right now is, and until we get like a way that we can actually, speak freely, then we will post on every, like I always, I used to list them off on our flyers, and now it's just like every big or major social media network, we are on there, right? Find us.
I have a new SSD disk. Probably maybe for next episode, I'll just record it too, or like locally, and then
Yeah.
maybe if we get censored or whatever, we can just like upload it too separately, like uncensored.
Yeah, I think
version.
with FLV format, we average about two. I think it's like 1 gig because it's all compressed.
Well, and for any of our listeners, feel free to like download the video and post it on yours. Put a link. Don't put a link. The information is what's important to us. We don't get paid, so we don't like. There is no people get all upset about advertising, and they need to make sure that their names are mentioned or any of that. Nah, just get out the information. I could care less. Say you did it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, like people get really, especially in the social media circles, get really stressed out about who their, credit. I didn't get credit, I don't care, man. I don't need credit. I don't care. Download it, post it, put your name on it. I don't give a shit. And I think that is one of the benefits of doing this, because we believe in the cause and not because we're getting paid for it, and that we don't get caught up in any of that bullshit.
Yeah, we don't get paid for this. It comes out of our pockets.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't care if you download it, upload it. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Try to keep stuff in context, but if you don't, you'd be hard enough to twist our words, so good luck with that.
So we covered censorship online and how the telecom companies want a G-rated internet, right?
Some stuff.
Well, yeah. So with the recent YouTube purge, and I saw this happening on Spotify, where they wanted you to report music that didn't fit their social norm. And so what I'm saying is that the telecom companies want people to have a G-rated internet, and this is slowly what is going to happen on all platforms. Does anybody disagree with me?
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you at all. Music has always been the bane of the oppressor's existence. They hate music, whether it's hip hop, whether it's fucking metal, whether it's jazz, whether it's rock.
These guys always have a problem with free expression through music, through dance, through art.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's
of course, and always activism is always from the artist community. Is it's always the most active activism, music and
yeah.
art, like you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, look at the amount of people that have been woken up to the revolution, to oppression through hip hop, through Rage Against the Machine, right? You know that the Bulls on Parade is not G rated.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And through
Right?
art, a lot more is allowed too, because you can say this is art, this is satire, and you can say a lot more. So
Yeah, my thing is they did everything when I was growing up. They did everything humanly possible to censor hip hop, right? Everything they could. Everything they could. And when it's all said and done, but when you look back from 2019, those hip hop albums did more to educate people on what was going on in the inner city than any education program the US government has ever put out. Ever. Kids in the suburb know the strife of what's going on. The kids in the fucking hood, not from education, not from the school systems, not from history books, right? From hip hop, right? You know that the CIA was selling crack in the hood, not from the journalist doing hard hitting journalism, investigative reporting, and exposing the insane corruption against black, brown, and poor people in America, right? It was hip hop that told you about that.
Yep.
I'm reading someone saying artists have a better grip on reality. I would say like you also need to be like an independent thinker to be like a unique artist. Like you have to you need some kind of independent thoughts to make like the things that are unique, and
Well,
you have to.
Yeah.
that's 90% why I listen to experimental music a lot, and I listen to underground music that's not popular, mainly because it's not influenced by what sells. What's you know what I mean? It's original.
Yeah. 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 I mean, there's, look at, I'd say, for people, go look at like Killer Mike. Go look at Run the Jewels. Some of that, there's more history in those songs than you'll get out of any history book, which is really sad.
Killer Mike is that guy who was also sitting down with Bernie, right, in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. He is a big Bernie supporter, but, he's a rapper, right? So I mean, people
Yeah.
get like, people are always shocked. Oh my god, how could you say that? Because I'm not like that's they get confused on who exactly he is and what he's about. So I mean, that's why when it gets into the G rating, their music is not G rated. It's not meant to be.
Yeah.
Okay, Anonymous Super is saying the Illuminati is after the people who speak the truth. The New World Order is after us truthers.
I wouldn't say I
Yeah.
wouldn't say specifically the Illuminati, but I would say backers behind the New World Order
I
who
just
are
got cut off.
dictating. Yeah, they
I'm
want
cutting
they.
off
Yeah.
too here.
Yeah.
Did everybody get that I'm their recording click?
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
they are
Yeah.
really after
Yeah,
truthers
so
right
yeah, I
now.
think they were right. The things that we stand for, yeah, the Illuminati, inside of the anonymous group, we're thinking of a specific group of people,
Yeah,
right?
I have to say something about the Illuminati and online. If any of you guys see an online presence about the Illuminati
You are
online,
cutting
it's
off a
not the
bit.
Illuminati. The Illuminati are not online. So if you think that you have infiltrated an Illuminati group online, it's not the real
Yeah.
deal.
Oh, those guys selling these books, you mean?
Yeah, they're all fake.
Yeah.
It's all fake. 100% of it's a scam.
Yeah, it's
It's
Yeah.
just for you to
obviously.
buy a book and to get a certificate that you belong to a fake organization, but the real Illuminati exists,
Yeah,
but
so
they
I
don't
mean
have an online presence or they don't have
you
anything
know
affiliated
the
online.
the you know you are they are right in some sense, but when anonymous bites back, talks about the Illuminati, we're talking about a specific group of people, with a very specific group of goals. Where I think when a lot of people put in the words Illuminati, they're talking about the 1%. They're talking about the power elite. They're talking about international banking, which may have Illuminati members in it. but may not
You'll never know.
necessarily be the specific group that is the Illuminati. Which beyond, they are just that's a term, that refers themselves as the illuminated ones. They feel that they have access to certain secret ancient information that you and I don't have access to.
Well, yeah,
Now those
that
same
belief has been
people,
going on from the pharaohs. They believe that the pharaohs were,
but yeah, they
were
definitely
the only
are
people
the
that could talk to
Illuminati.
the gods.
You're cutting off a bit, Tyler. That's why Terrence is talking
Oh
through.
shit!
Yeah, I'm not trying to, man. It's those same people. Yeah.
Oh no! That belief has gone all the way back to the pharaohs, where they believe that only the pharaohs could talk to the gods, and that's the same belief that they have.
So yeah, they definitely, groups like the Illuminati, if not certain members and certain people, were definitely on their shit lists. But we're on a lot of people's shit lists.
Well, you can talk about like the masonry, like the Scottish Rite of Masonry, 33 degrees, or you can talk about the Egyptian Rite. Memphis Mizraim has 99 degrees. These people, the higher they get in these kind of cults, is the more illuminated they think they are. Of
There's
course,
another one out there. God, I can't think of it at the top of my head.
Rosicrucians.
No,
that's also kind of like a.
they
Masonic
wrote the
stuff,
Liber a Legis, all of that stuff. The OTO temples.
Yeah, that is the one of Aleister Crowley. I think.
Yeah. Those are the secret secret societies that don't get talked much about, but they're pretty dangerous because they actually believe outright in full blown satanic beliefs.
Yeah, and there's several. I mean, there are. There's a couple of light follower groups as well that worship and Satan. There's several different. When some of these groups view Satan, they're viewing the angel of light. They're looking at an ancient version of of what you would view as Satan, as opposed to the kind of Christianity based satanic cults, which are specifically different than kind of the ancient beliefs as well. There's a lot to go into, man. We could really do a whole show specifically on that, because even how when you say Satan worshipers, there's a distinct difference between the Satan worshipers that are a response to Christianity, and very involved with the
these guys are the complete opposite. They believe
and not
in,
the ancient and not
they
the,
believe
the
in
ancient societies.
they believe in doing evil deeds while they're here on Earth and serving Satan and doing his deeds on here. So that's
Crowley's
that's
magic.
Crowley's belief. Yep.
Yeah, Crowley's a fun one.
Yeah, he's also like a sex magic believer. It has all kind of like with BDSM and like sex rituals, and it gives like power.
And they
to
also
them.
believe
It's like
in, they also believe in what's it called? His wife was into it. Getting people.
Oh, they were into some.
They believed in, it was like a voodoo
bestiality and-
practice where they used to get people possessed on purpose so they could get their instructions on what they needed to do. So
It's
Fun.
not much different than the whole Charles Manson drug cult behavior.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to like I said, there's quite a long list of groups that get kind of lumped in. Knights Templar, I think, would be another one that kind of gets lumped into the Illuminati.
But people should not confuse this with like low-level Masonic lodges. You have public lodges; they have like 3 levels, like a student,
There's a
a friend,
neophyte.
and a
The
master.
neophyte is the lowest, and then it goes up.
Yeah,
from
but
there.
that public lodges is not the same thing. These are like Christian people who want to do like good deeds and stuff, and they're like a publicity stunt for Masons. they're actually. I don't think they're these blue lodges.
They
They're
really
called
don't know
public
what's
lodges.
going on. Yeah, it's
No, and that's how it's set up. So I mean, you do get the thing that the people that do know would never say anything, and most of the people that you meet don't know,
yeah. I've been saying
right?
this for a while.
So
Is that most Masons only use the Mason Lodge as like a way to for business business
yeah,
connections.
well, there's always the saying inside of the Masons that the Masons can make a good man better, but they can't make a bad man good.
Yep.
And that's where you get into there's evil people in the Masons, and that gives them access to power and influence and all of those things. But those people would have been evil regardless.
Yeah.
Feeling I have with most of these cults is that they're actually just like blackmail scams. That's pretty much it. That they tell each other secrets where they can blackmail each other later
Yep. That is
if they like
100%
jump
true.
out of the cult. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think these whole weird theories. The people at the top of these organizations don't really care about these theories. I think they're just interested in the dirt about politicians and
Oh,
the
and I
power.
think some of them do their egos, So a lot of these people that are in the high positions that are ultra wealthy, believe that they're somehow special, right? So that does play into the ego part of it. That it's not just enough that you were the most corrupt bastard on the planet, so you got into the places of power. You were put there by God, and you see that over and over with whether with all sorts of people in power, right? You're not the king or queen because you boned your sister the most, right? You're the king and queen because you were put there by God, right? Completely untrue, but they sure do love to believe it, and a lot of people below them believe it. You're not just put. You're not the. You're not the pharaoh because you're the pharaoh. You're the pharaoh because you were put there by God, right? But we know that none of that was true.
These higher ups, criminals use blackmail a lot. I mean, here in Europe, there are many examples of it. There was this big cocaine mob guy. His last name is Nihul. But he was organizing sex parties, and then he was inviting these underage girls, and he was inviting like big politicians, but even royalty. They all came to his parties, and he just videotaped them and photographed them with these underage girls. And later on, he would blackmail them, and that is why he became like a big cocaine lord. And he still is, by the way, he still is. And he was arrested once, and then he said like, "I've got a video of a Belgian prince raping a 13-year-old girl. How am I going to be arrested?" And he
Oh
walked
yeah.
free, like he walked free, like he was like in like the minimum security prison. He walked free after like only a few years for he was convicted of very big crimes. So yeah, there is power in blackmails for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah, and what you saw kind of the reaction, if you ever ask anybody about the Skull and Bones, for anybody that's graduated from Yale, and watching their reaction is always real interesting. I know both Bush and Gore were both questioned about it, and both of them had the same reaction. No, we can't talk about that.
Basically.
And then the reporters that ask the question are immediately in a lot of trouble. You're not supposed to ask about the Skull and Bones. No matter who shows up to the Bilderberg, you make sure to never mention the Bilderberg group.
Yeah, but look also like at criminals like Jeffrey Epstein, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
Epstein
yeah.
Island, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he was also able to get these big politicians and these big guys in, all of course for blackmailing. So yeah,
Well, I think some of the to get into a lot of these groups has to do with blackmail. So I mean, they'll hide it in some sort of ritual. This is a secret ritual that makes you the most powerful. Blah 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 blah. Whatever it makes. But at the end of the day, they just pretty much you've had sex with some underage person, and that will destroy your career after that. So they kind of have you by the short and curlies.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, blackmail is an old trick, and it definitely, like I said, with a lot of these secret societies, they use their, part of the ritual puts you in that blackmail, position.
Yeah, look
Um,
at Scientology does it too with celebrities.
Yep.
oh, and a lot, and there's been a couple of like some crazy sex rings and weirdness recently. The girls from the girls from Smallville from that Superman show.
What?
They were running. Yeah, they were running. Oh my God, dude! Did you not know about this? So
Vaguely, but it's been a while.
So the two main female characters on Smallville were both involved in running in this, sex cult in Hollywood, and basically they would, do all sorts of weird, S&M shit with these actresses, and then blackmail them into parts, into having sex with producers and in all of that because of it. And that was busted maybe a year ago. Immediately put, because of the people that were involved, studio heads and all of that. It was immediately swept under the rug. But yeah, pretty
Jeez.
big ring as well.
That's crazy.
But I mean, as soon as we get, we've got some guests that might come on. I don't know if you've talked to Leah recently. I'm off of Twitter, so I do need to get a hold of her again. But she'll have a lot of real interesting, some real truth to tell people, and her like struggle just for speaking out has been rough. Um,
Oh, we'll get her on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, she's been threatened. She's, I mean, everything, they tried to destroy her career. Even now, where we say tried to destroy her career, there's the reason she doesn't get acting parts and doesn't get, any of that is because she spoke out against Scientology.
Yeah, and very powerful. I mean, her voice was always very powerful. I mean, she's a famous actor, and she certainly did some damage to this cult, and I think they're pretty scared of her.
Well, yeah, I mean, not only is she outspoken, but she's a nice person. She's like a real person that they tried to do this to, and it just happens that she's got a platform as well. But even then, when you look at the world around her, as unfortunate as it is, it's definitely, speaking out is they've done everything they can to hurt her career, including slander and threats, and I mean the works. And I don't think she's been in a movie since a movie or so since she started speaking out. Even after we know all of the horrible things that are involved in Scientology.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm not sure if that is voluntary or if she's just not being asked for
Well, I
anything
mean,
anymore.
she's an actress, so I mean, I doubt that, you have those decisions to make. All of us do. If you're gonna speak out, the repercussions that come with it.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think that she's been in anything since then, and it's not because she's not a good actor. It's not that she's not a good actress or talented or beautiful or any of those things. The reason that she's not given parts is because she chose to speak out, which is the greatest decision that you could make. For all the people that this was a cult, I mean, for the people that were locked in basements and, being abused and attacked and threatened and, all the horrible games that were playing, she saved all of those people and put her career and her good name and all of that shit on the line, which is, extremely commendable. Extremely commendable.
It seems her show is still running. I was looking for it real quick. It says this is updated May 31, so that's not so long ago. She's currently involved in Emmy Award-winning documentary series Leia Remini, Scientology and the Aftermath. So probably still running.
Yeah, and I know she's like when that ship that was being quarantined. I know she was extremely vocal during all of that.
The free winds, like the tax fraud chip.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, either way, it's commendable. Whether she comes on the show or not, I mean, it's just commendable what she's doing. And I hope she kind of continues on with it. I do think she'll come out on top of all of it by standing strong. But that's easy to say when you're not going through it at the same time. I'm not an actor, so that doesn't. You know what I mean? Like if somebody tells me you'll never work in the acting business, all right, fine, man, fair enough. Right, so it doesn't affect you the same way where here when somebody says, hey, you're not, you'll never work in show business again and you're an actress, that's serious business. You'll never work in real news, which I've been told over and over again. Good. You guys suck. You'll never be on CNN again. Good.
Oh, well.
Good. Thanks. Yeah. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. Oh, yeah. A couple of things. I'll never work on CNN again. I'll never cut an album with Kanye West. I'll never be on a show with their buddy William Shatner.
Oh God, that was funny when you got into a fight with him. That was hilarious.
Oh my God, William Shatner fucking hates me. Or like him
you got,
and Kanye
you got
can
into
sit
a
around
fight
and-
with Captain Kirk. That's
Oh, yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Not my favorite captain, so.
That's true.
Especially like it while William Shatner was chewing me out and acting a fucking fool, right? Fucking Captain Picard's out there doing a one-man protest for women's rights in front of his show. Did you guys see that?
No.
Oh, so Picard, was doing a one-man protest out in front of his show because they're starting a new
Picard. That's what it's called.
they're starting his new show, and when in between takes of the show, he goes downstairs to walk his dog and just has his protest sign and fucking stays at it. In comparison to fucking
William Shatner.
Yeah, William Shatner being a complete douche. Oh my God, he I don't know, reposted me telling him he's a dick, and then blocked me. And I didn't say anything mean. I just was all everything that you get is from your fans. Try to keep that in perspective. If you have one fan that comes up and gets you at the wrong time or whatever, everything you have in your life, the fast cars, the big houses, the celebrity, all of that comes from the fans. You've been approached by a million fans that have been respectful and given you a high five and all of that and fucking bow down or whatever. Do you have to bring up the one guy that didn't 10 years ago every 15 minutes? We get it. We get it. You're a big star. We understand. That's fine. But you're just an actor, that set him the fuck off. Because when it's all said and done, you played a guy that saved the planet. You didn't save the planet. And to say, oh, well, I kissed a black woman in 1970, okay. Right? That is not, you had 40 years of your career that you could have stood up and fought for civil rights, and you never did. Kissing Uhura in one fucking show a day before it was canceled does not give you a high five in my book. And man, he did not like that. Not at all.
Terrence, Jan Morrissey is asking, please explain his fight with Captain Kirk.
Oh, that was it. That was it. So he had got on and kind of made a comment that, a fan had came up to him. I don't know if he was about to go to the bathroom or what his thing was, that a fan had come up with him and wanted an autograph, and he didn't want to give him an autograph, which is fine. I said, no. And in my rebuttals, I said, look, no fan should come up and demand anything from you. But realize that everything you have is from your supporters, from your fans. If people don't go watch your movies, you're a nobody. You don't do anything but act like Captain Kirk, right? That doesn't give you anything special in my book other than you owe the fans. Oh, and he went on this, I don't owe anybody. No, man, you owe everything that you are to your fans. You're not an inventor. You're not a musician. You don't create anything. You're an actor. You act like Captain Kirk. That's it. Right? And fuck, man, he definitely did not like any of that. You guys can go to his Twitter and see the whole fucking argument. I think I said instead of perspective, I think I put in I misspelled a word, and he got a real kick out of that. I think I put it was another P word. Fuck, I forget which one that I misspelled, but he got a real kick out of that. But no, it was just kind of, I dig it. You're a superstar.
Oh,
I
shit.
understand
We have
that.
2.5 minutes.
Oh yeah, I'll make it quick. No, it was really just a thing over him being, you know what I mean, a superstar, and just like that's cool. I dig that, right? But never lose sight that what you have. It would be like us coming out here and be like, "Oh well, we don't know the fan shit." Well, we don't. But the reason that we have a platform is because of the people that watch our show. Right. So if you have to sign an extra autograph, or if you have to say, hold on a second, I got to go take a piss real quick, then you can go and do that. But to come out and be like, oh, you're some sort of self-made fucking, gift to the planet. Now that's where that's where you've crossed the line. You're an actor. You act.
Yeah.
That's it.
Tyler, are we doing the Sunday special? For,
Yeah, I think we'll do it on this Sunday at like 11 o'clock Pacific time.
Yeah, I will
Okay.
be here. Yeah, for those, we've been trying to do a little bit more of the Sunday shows just because there's been a lot going out, and I don't just to put it out. I don't hate Captain Kirk. I like the guy. I love Star Trek movies. I love all of that stuff, but it's just a little bit much for me sometimes.
Yeah, I'm a hardcore
You know?
Trekkie, but I do know a lot about William Shatner. He was homeless for a while
Yeah,
after Star Trek got canceled after the 88th episode. So I mean, he made a lot of bad decisions after that show. I mean, it just kind of
it's not, and
reflects
you're
on the
about
kind
to.
of person he is.
That's not what it was about. Like, if you look at the difference, and I don't want to bring Patrick Stewart up a lot, but you look at the difference where if you took away the acting part of Patrick Stewart, he would still be supporting the community, standing up, speaking out. Right? He would be all sorts of other things. When it came to William Shatner, other than Captain Kirk, who are you?
Commercial guy.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I can't. There's plenty of things that you could have done. Plenty of things that you could have created. Somebody posted in there, well, you guys aren't curing cancer. Actually, we make applications specifically to help protein folding to cure cancer. He could have done that.
right,
If you
guys,
took away
30
the acting
seconds.
part of Picard, he would still be more convincing than Captain Kirk. So
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it's not that I don't think that his position and your acting, and I mean, that is cool. Like, I'm not downing your art, right? But never look past the part that you're an actor, right? Your support comes from the people.
All
And
right, 20 seconds.
most of us in social media and all of this, our support comes from the people. Never lose sight of that, which was all I needed to say. But he was on some fucking ego trip, so
All right, guys.
Okay.
it went bad.
I need to wrap it up, and we'll be back Sunday at 11 o'clock Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah,
And
thanks to everybody that's watching. Please share this out. Right,
yeah,
stay
sharing
strong,
is
brothers
caring,
and
guys.
sisters.
all right.
See everybody on Sunday.
And they
Dun
can't
dun dun
I
dun
declare
dun.
this to be an unlawful assembly.